wait, I'm going live. Hey, I remembered this time. Happy Halloween! What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, my favorite Wednesday of the week, and it's also our super special haunted Halloween episode on Void Jumpers. If you haven't gotten your costume contest picks in yet, the contest is going through Halloween, and we will announce the winners on our next episode. So keep hitting us up at hashtag VJCostumes. Sweet, bring in the crew.
Duck.
What's up, everybody? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
I'm very excited for tonight's episode. We have a lot in store, but before we do, we have a couple non-in-fiction things we're going to take care of. So I'm just going to have a couple of my smarter-than-me friends help me out here. First off, I'm going to kick it over to Trin for a little message for everybody.
Hey, everybody. I want to say that I started off this call about 10 minutes ago, just feeling bleak and despairing, and just spending some time with these fine folks and all y'all. I'm in a much better mental place than I was just even 15 minutes ago. So thank you for being here with us. I'm so excited you're here with us. And here it's time for Trin's weekly message. I should come up with a name for it by now. Basically, it boils down to voting won't solve all of our problems, but it will help us solve some of the ones that are the most urgent and important right now. And if you have a mail-in ballot and you have not sent it back through the mail, please take it to a ballot drop box or take it to the polls, and there are ballot drop boxes at the polls that they can put them in, because at this point we cannot guarantee that they will get there before November 3rd, and in many states this year they will not count if they do not have them by November 3rd. Furthermore, there will be a push by well, we know who there will be a push by. There will be a push by our current president to stop counting after November 3rd. So what we can do to try and avoid that is make sure that we get our ballots in as soon as possible so that they can be counted on November 3rd itself. And then we are not waiting for a result. So please, if you still have your ballot at home, that's okay. Just don't put it in the mail. Go take it to a ballot drop box. I love you all.
Thank you, Trin. Trin's always here on the fucking front lines, making sure that our world and democracy is saved. And it's an honor for me to just be on a live stream with you, let alone be able to hear the smart things you have to tell us. Please, everybody, vote. Put it in the boxes. Okay. Secondly, we're going to kick it in the boxes. Put it in the boxes.
That's all you need to remember.
Boxes are very important, everyone. That's the main message and takeaway from tonight's stream.
Lisa,
protect your boxes.
Are you talking about euphemism stuff, or are we still talking about voting stuff?
We're talking about voting, Jesse. It's the cornerstone of democracy. The fuck is wrong with you?
And
she was giving a look, a sly look. The whole time she's talking about voting, she's not giving a sly look. She starts talking about boxes, a twinkle comes into her eye. I'm just saying. Okay, Lisa, you got some other real stuff to talk to us about before we start talking about imaginary stuff.
I do. So if you saw the invite, the email invite that went out, a portion of our proceeds tonight are going to go to a foundation called Pablov. They are a foundation that helps kids with cancer through the arts. They provide arts. And they also fund cutting-edge research for pediatric cancer. There is a family in our community, our arts community, that lost their daughter to cancer this year, and they put out an ask for donations to this organization because they helped their family so much, and it touched me, and I figured this would be a really great foundation for us to donate some of our proceeds from you guys, who are so kind, to pass it on, to keep it going. So Pablov, it's PABLOVE.org. You can look it up. They're pretty great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all of the business. We're now going to have a Halloween episode, everybody. Mark, if you wouldn't mind rolling the previously on.
Oh yeah.
The maintenance hatch transforms back into Sam and then opens the external door.
Air Dobbins is sucked into space. And you see a familiar face. Holy shit! Bryn? It's me! CNAC 88!
I'm honored that you would trust me with that information.
Sisterhood, man.
Well, cheers, first of all.
Cheers to being alive still.
Being alive. That sounds like a good thing to drink to.
Yeah.
And you suddenly realize why everybody avoids blight. All of your stats are now -1. Weird is now -3. Reading the chests from left to right with Puck's help, you see that they say warrior, wizard, cleric, and rogue. All right, welcome back to the haunting of Blight Manor. Before I set the stage here, I believe some early donations came through. I'm going to kick it over to our tech guru, Mark, real quick, just to get those out so we don't miss the fun.
All right, here goes nothing. Everybody can hear me? Yay!
Yeah.
So we've had some tech issues with Streamlabs, which is our fabulous software that does the robot voice and lets you guys buy the stuff and tags it all and all that kind of stuff. So today we're going to be just reading them aloud as we get to them. I'll do voices later on for you, but the first one was a donation of $250 from Wags.
Wags! Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So thank you. The note is, Merkworky is my partner in chaos and the brains of this operation. I defer to Merkworky for planning of the devilish details and fortuitous timing of this hack attack. Love, Wags. And we don't have hack attacks on Void Jumpers, but that's one of those things with the system not working quite right. So Wags and Merkworky will let us know how they want that money distributed and which purchase they're making in the store. And then secondly, we have
250 could buy the whole fucking barn. Sorry, continue.
So from Thing, we have #Rex. So that's a Rex bonus. Who rules
Yay,
Blight
Rex!
Town? Back to you, Jesse.
Okay, thanks
Thanks so
everybody.
much, everybody.
Super cool.
Thank you.
That's great. That's really great. Do you want to? We are doing some new things. Jesse, do you want to take just a second? I know we're all trying to get into the spooky shit.
I get it. I get it.
But we got some spooky stuff in the store today.
Some of the options, which depending on how Wags and Merc just throw that money out of the roof of their limo, might be going away soon. But we do have the ability to summon a classic monster into the session at any time. It will happen immediately following whatever scene we are in when it gets summoned. So I don't know when these guys are coming in. They're just coming in. We also have a Monster Mash dance party, which is going to be a spooky, sexy themed
Which was just
dance
bought by
party.
Rob.
Which just got bought by Rob. Woo! And then the regular stuff of bonuses. But why don't we just do a little dance party to get started, I think, before we get into the game. Hit us with that cool music that Aaron Buman made.
Hashtag dance because why not from Rob. Here we go.
I thought that was actually the robot at first. That's a compliment, Mark.
Where are my drum sticks? The longest dance party. That is so long.
The time for me because I was enjoying myself.
Oh, I'm wearing so many goddamn layers.
Okay. So, that's it. We're going to do this. The Haunting of Blight Manor. You're in a rundown tower in the middle of a swamp. 4 chests sit before you. 4 glowing necklaces hang above them on the wall. Bryn, you approach the chest marked Warrior, and with trembling hands place the necklace over your head. When the pendant settles onto your chest, you're taken by a sudden flash of anger. Your muscles tighten and expand, so much so you feel your robes might burst at the seams. A red glow spreads from the pendant, enveloping your entire body. Your robes shift as they're pulled toward the pendant. The cloth stiffens, transforming into a dense metal. You can see they have fashioned themselves into a breastplate, one which retains the summoner's attire's aesthetic, but is now a beautifully carved piece of armor. Your staff, too, flattens, growing until you're holding a very large sword. It is easily as tall as you are, and as heavy, but you have no problem holding it up. The gems which house your summons decorate its hilt. The necklace's glow recedes up onto your head and transforms into a mighty horned helmet. Inside the chest, you find a handful of gold coins and a set of brass knuckles. You are now the Warrior. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Bryn.
Basically, I just kick a lot of ass. I hurt people. I smash. I do have one special ability called Barbara-Brin. And I go berserk, and I gain a +1 to strength, dex, damage, and armor. But my speech is limited to one word, and that's smash. That's all I can say. Should be fun.
Yeah, you've got some fightery stuff in there. You're a smasher.
Yep.
Okay. Tag. You approach the chest marked Rogue. When you put on the necklace, a shadow creeps from the pendant. You'll feel your armor shift and move, melting into the shadow and settling into a jet black cloak. Though there is no perceivable breeze, the cloak flutters as if restless. In the chest, you find a bow, a quiver of arrows, thieves' tools, a small pile of gold coins, and a pair of claw-tooth daggers. You are now the Rogue. Tell us about yourself.
So I think that he watches Bryn walk up and put on the necklace and feels this sort of calling pulling from the center of his chest to walk up to another one, and he does. And on the way, he trips over the lid of a treasure chest, knocking over gold coins everywhere. It says, "Oh, sorry, everyone. Gosh, you know me, I'm clumsy." And he finds the necklace, puts it on, and looks around to the group and says, I don't get a giant sword. I don't have a horned helmet. I don't really feel that different. And he starts to step back over, slips on one of the gold coins on the ground, does a backflip, catches himself. The gold coin lands in his palm. I know parkour!
And we have a donation. Thanks, Salagen, for the $75. #dance.
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and just take this bad boy
I
off.
know, this is too hot. Too hot. Just gonna make my eyebrows dance.
And we have another donation. Thanks, Merkworky, for the $200. #wolf, #lagoon, #vampire, #mummy store stack.
Oh god.
What's
Oh,
happening?
It's a monster squad. Oh, she bought the monster squad.
4 monsters.
Cassie is so excited, man.
Okay,
God.
so
They all come out immediately, instantly overpowering your squad. You die. End of session.
I'm going to have them appear one at a time, but there will not be much space in between them. So,
Oh god.
just so you know. Okay,
Thank you so much, Merc.
thank you, Merc. Okay, Sam, you approach the quest. Sorry, Mark, I think I'm echoing off of your thing. I don't like the sound of my own voice.
You sound good to me.
You approach the chest marked Wizard. When you put on the necklace, Puck's life force springs forth to greet this new magical presence. A wash of void energy curls protectively around you. When it settles, you find you're now wearing shimmering robes of star and moon and a matching pointed hat. In your hand is a staff made of bleached bone. A fist of a diamond adorns its crown. In the chest, you find a book of spells and a handful of gold coins. You are now the wizard. Tell us about yourself.
Well, it would appear that Sam's sour countenance seems to have vanished with his regular attire, and now there are sparkling, curious eyes. But then, as you look closer, you realize that the eyes aren't sparkling because of curiosity necessarily, but there seems to be the actual charge of lightning behind these wizards' eyes. You can tell just by getting a little bit closer that you can feel the energy warp and move around him. He is a delight to the Blight Planet because he understands it in a way that he never thought he could.
Okay. Finally, Rex. You approach the chest marked Cleric. When you put on the necklace, a golden light warms the room, so bright the party is forced to cover their eyes. When the light fades, you see that Rex's many weapons have combined to form a beautiful golden shield. On it is the symbol of the Continuum. Rex is now wearing a flowing white robe. Her stature is somewhat diminished from her usually imposing silhouette. In the chest, you find a small pile of gold coins and an enchanted scroll tube. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
My limbs feel awfully weak and spindly.
What's weird is they're like regular human size.
Yeah, so Rex is now of a more average human proportions in terms of muscle and strength, and is just deeply, deeply confused by this transformation. She keeps waving her arms around like they're little noodles that she's just taken out of the pot, and it's like, what's happening? What's happening?
Okay. Well, the party is now locked out of your previous class's moves and attributes, with a few exceptions. Bryn, You can still summon the Elder Spirits, but their power will be affected by the Blight Planet's magic. You are also susceptible to your Apotheosis Curse, which will function as written. And Sam, you will still be able to transform into Puck and vice versa if you or he desires, but his abilities will be affected by the Blight Planet's magic as well, and he will function as Sam does with the Wizard class's character sheet. We've talked a little bit about this. I think we're on the same wavelength. I won't get in your way. Sam and Puck will do as they please. Tag, your telepathy is like an old television set with a pair of rabbit ear antennas that have been wrapped in tinfoil, constantly needing to be adjusted. It feels like you just cannot sink back into it. It's there, but you're not sure how reliable it's going to be. And those are your new characters. You have your sheets in front of you. We're going to start the journey now.
And we have another donation.
Let me just change this document for no reason at all.
We have
You
another
walk out
donation
of the
from
tower.
Wags.
A thin mist obscures your vision. For a moment, you can't see a thing. When the mist clears, there is a woman standing before you. Her features are striking, her attire regal. She wears a long black cape with red lining. Her pale skin glows in the moonlight. When she smiles at you, you can't help but notice two long fangs. Everybody roll plus magic.
And we have another donation while you guys are rolling. Thanks, Wags, for the $35. Hashtag dance party. This is towards a dance party. Merc has the details that works out the weirdness from earlier. In other words, we now have one of everything in the store, plus a second Rex buff as well. So we do have another dance party. I'll play some music for you a little bit later. But we can summon all of them. We have a GM swap to come into play at some point.
Dang.
Guys are gonna murder us.
Yep.
I'm excited about it, but you're gonna kill us.
So with a magic roll of 5, I say Tag says, "Ma'am, hello, ma'am.
Yes.
You're doing all right? It's a foggy day out. We're a band of adventurers. As of 5 minutes ago, you want to tag along? See what,
Tag.
What's
Maybe
up?
don't invite her till we know who this is.
Well, she seems like just a attractive, if I may say so, a wanderer herself.
Did anybody else fail?
A European.
Yes, with a roll of 6, Sam says, "Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. In fact, why don't you come? It's cold out. Come stand between me and Tag. We'll block you from the wind."
Right.
I look at Rex and I'm like, have they lost their minds with this new
with a
character
roll
class?
of 11, I say, step back, lady.
She's on her way. She says, "Oh, I would love to travel with you." And she steps forward. And then when Rex holds out her hand, she stops and she says, "You two." And she points to Tag and Sam. "I do not like this big one. You do away with, yes?" And then she evaporates into a thin white vapor.
Ma'am.
Tag and Sam, you are now compelled to attack Rex. We are going to drop into initiative, and we will be starting with Tag.
God.
Hey, I just invited her to come along with us. She seemed like she was down on her luck. She was clearly foreign. Her English was very stumbly, and I just thought you've had a bad attitude all day, and I just push her.
Okay. You're gonna just roll plus strength.
Okay. Right. So
5.
yeah, I think my brain wanted to add more fingers to it, but it's just 5.
Also, guys, be tracking experience because there is level up bonuses at the bottom of the character sheet. Every 5 fails, you will be able to choose a new ability from the list at the bottom. Okay, so Tag, you go to push Rex, who deftly steps out of your way, and stumble right into a cloud of mist, which turns back into the woman who catches you lovingly in her arms.
Oh, Gosh, thanks.
And she begins to lower down towards your neck.
Oh, okay.
Sam, your turn. You still feel compelled to attack Rex.
Okay, I'm super jealous now because she's fawning over Tag, so I start screaming at the top of my lungs to get her attention as I charge Rex with my oh so incredibly shriveled appendages. Their once previously average stature, they are now even more impressively below average. Okay, so that is a 3.
Okay. So you also charge Rex, who has no problem deftly stepping to the side, and you fall face first into the mud, dropping your spell book.
Oh,
But screaming.
But screaming. Rex, it is your turn.
Sorry, it's just a very funny image of him running towards me and then falling in the mud and screaming. I don't, I think Rex is intelligent enough to realize that it is not her faithful companions who have turned against her, but this new lady who's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Rex hasn't quite learned what her new abilities are, so I think her first instinct is just to throw that shield right at that lady and try and hit her with it.
Excellent. You will be rolling Kick Some Ass. Yes.
That's a 6.
Oh my
you
gosh.
have a point from. You have a point.
Oh yeah, I have a point. I'm
Okay.
gonna use one of my points.
Okay, that makes it a partial success. So you throw it, and how much damage does your... It's a shield throw 2 harm. Okay, yeah, so you throw it. It deals 2 harm to the Countess, and she...
Abruptly drops Tag into
right
the mud.
into the mud and turns to grab you, Rex. So she is down 2 harm, and has now put her hands on you. They are incredibly cold and seem to be radiating with a kind of magic that is almost draining your strength. It's just right below the threshold of something that would be doing actual damage to you. And she is now going after your neck. Bryn, it is your turn.
In a panic, I look down at the brass knuckles. I look at what's going on. I realize I gotta do something really quick, so I turn and I slice my neck a little bit so blood starts coming out, hoping that it will attract Miss Thing.
Uh-huh.
And as she comes near me, if she does, I would like to punch her beautiful face with my brass knuckles.
Roll help out. That will be plus charisma. For everybody watching, we're using a different set of stats for this arc. A little bit more traditional D&D while being pasted on top of Monster of the Week.
That's a 7.
Okay. So she turns to face you the moment blood hits the air and lets go of Rex. She turns and lunges at you and now has a hold of you. You can now roll to attack her. Roll Kick Some Ass plus strength with your brass knuckles
I mean,
or sword, whatever you want.
2 harm. Okay, you wrote is this intimidate or is this intimate?
Intimate.
We're very intimate right now, so I'm gonna use my brass knuckles. That's another 7.
Okay. They deal 2 harm?
Yes.
Okay. She takes the harm. She's looking a little roughed up now, but she's grabbed a hold of you and sunk her teeth into your neck. You take 2 harm. She heals 1. And you are now going to roll plus magic because you've just been bitten by a vampire.
I have to roll plus magic as Warrior Bryn, right?
In response, it's a check that you're making to see what happens after you get bitten by a cursed individual.
Wait, the lady is a vampire?
Oh my god, yes!
The Countess Dracula.
The European tourist is a vampire?
Yes.
Jeez Louise!
Right. You're a little too trusting. All right, so I'm rolling at a -1 then instead of a -3. Well,
Sure.
good.
Bryn, also that you have armor, right?
I
Two
do.
Physical?
Armor, horned helmet, and breastplate. Yes.
Yeah. So you don't take damage, but you still do need to make this roll.
Okay, I rolled a 8.
Okay.
Oh no.
You do not feel too good pretty immediately, but whatever it is that's happening does not seem to be in full swing. You will need to examine it with somebody who knows magic and can use magic, but right now you have been potentially cursed.
Great. Cool.
Which brings us...
That's good news, you know, all things considered.
Well,
Potential curse is...
potential curse, and I can't use magic. What could go wrong?
Okay, I see by your tone that you think some things can go wrong, and I hear and respect that. Whose turn is it?
Punch it off of myself.
We're circling back to Tag, who is still laying in the mud next to Sam, who is still laying in the mud. Rex is standing, having just recently been released, and Bryn has just been bitten.
Well, so I come up, he clears the mud out of his eyes, and at first thinks, oh, they're hugging, that's sweet. No, she's bitten, and Tag kind of shakes his head, and there's a moment where that sense of being enthralled or entranced by her has worn off in the face of her having hurt his summoner, his best friend and person he's sworn to protect. So I think that's just going to activate an instinct. And having never fired a bow before in his life, it's almost as if the necklace speaks to him and he just instinctively reaches for it, notches an arrow, and releases it right at the vampire.
Roll kicks
The
him in.
vampire.
And I believe you have an ability which allows you to use Dex when kicking some ass.
Correct. So that'll be a 10.
Ooh, baby. List it off. What does it do?
Does 2 harm, ranged only, when hidden +1 harm. I am camouflaged by this mud, perhaps?
Not quite, but only
Okay,
because she
that's
was
worth
in
a
your
shot.
head.
I thought it was all pretty.
Bryn, you see an arrow come through her chest. There is no blood, but the grip she has on you lessens, and you can tell that she is not doing good. Sam.
Sam also wipes the mud out of his face, the cold sludge in between his teeth and up his nose. He clears his eyes and also finds Bryn making out with his betrothed, and then realizes that, in fact, they are also fighting, just one step behind Tag here, it would seem. And if Tag has the bow drawn, the snap of the arrow cues Sam to do the same thing, whirling his staff around, pointing it at the wizard, and releasing an ice beam at the vampire.
So you've got some new magic that you're going to be using. I believe you roll plus magic.
That is a 12. No, sorry, an 11.
Okay, that's really good. So, you deal 2 harm. It slows the target, and she freezes solid right in front of Bryn. And though there was no light in her eyes, the twinkle is now gone. And you see the Countess Dracula as an ice sculpture with her hands gripping Bryn's arms. And you have defeated the first of 4 guaranteed summon monsters named Countess Dracula. Thank you, chat.
Jesse, can I make a request?
Yes.
Because it was so battle focused, I'd love it if we could have a kind of real world road rule style confessional with Vampirella or this Dracula creature. You know, kind of like in The Bachelor, right? When you get kicked off, just a little exit interview to camera real quick.
Sure, absolutely. Do you want to just cue me with like a question?
Yeah. Hey, so that was rough going out there. We all had high hopes for you coming in, and it ends up being that the charms just didn't work, and they used their physical force. What do you think about that?
Well, it's always difficult to be first monster. A lot of pressure to break ice. No pun intended, I suppose. Anyway, I did like those two boys. They were nice. I think I would have went with them on their mission. Probably waited till they went to sleep, turned them into thralls. The women too, if they would have allowed it. We would have been nice, vampire traveling family. We could still be adventurers, but I don't know. You win some, you lose some. And she turns into mist and disappears. Okay, you're standing in the swamp. You've just defeated your enemy.
I put on my galoshes.
Okay, they fit perfectly.
Yes.
Because you have a wonderful tailor.
I'm annoyed by how quickly my, pure as the driven snow robes become dirty.
Yeah, they're filthy immediately. So what you guys do know about this planet is that there is a summoner here. You've heard that he's the laughingstock of the summoner community, and that he's declared himself the mayor of the planet. With no other good leads to follow, you set out into the swamp in search of a town. Let me get to the place that I want to be on my notes.
I think Tag is shocking himself by hopping from lily pad to lily pad, not getting dirty at all, and also oblivious to Rex's really dirty side eyes about his pristine prance.
Yeah, the thing about you guys is you are aware that the necklace is the generator of this, but it does not feel foreign. It feels comfortable. It feels natural. And so Tag truly is skirting almost on top of the surface of the water and sliding along logs and saying parkour. Rex, you're having a hard time not getting winded far more often than you would have before. Bryn, you feel like you could walk or run or sprint or jump for days.
This is amazing.
And Sam, you're struck by how interesting the landscape is and the interactions of the ecosystem and the way that the life energy is being drained from this planet but somehow still creating this ecosystem. And it just seems like you're very curious and acute. Your attention span is better. Your memory is better. You can remember every moment from the previous fight. You can analyze the spell that you were put under. You recognize it as a type of necromancy, a type of hypnosis. And so you just have this deeper understanding of how the world exists now. And you're also very tired and dirty. Okay.
Yeah, these robes are heavy. This staff is heavy.
You want me to carry it for you? I can carry it.
Can you carry me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over my shoulder.
Okay, you sling the wizard over your shoulder. Very standard adventuring party maneuver. Okay. Your journey through the Blight Swamp is miserable. You trek through the wastes for hours. At the precipice of Lost Hope, you stumble onto an ancient road, scarcely more than an elevated path through the swamp. A rotted sign denotes the location. It reads, "This way to Blight Manor." When you arrive in town, the sun has already begun to set. This is a squalid, out-of-the-way place, hardly more than a cluster of cottages which ring a small tavern. On a hill in the distance, you catch your first glimpse of Blight Manor. An old white mansion crowns the hill which looms over the village. It draws your eye as though thirsty for recognition. As you take in the sharp angles of the roof, the crooked towers, the wrought iron fence, a shiver runs through the party, an eerie recognition of something strange, something off about the old house, as though it's waiting for what you cannot be certain, but you do not like the sinking feeling in your gut. As you approach a tavern, you hear music coming from inside. What life there is in this village has congregated in this place. Patrons crowd the bar, and many of the tables are full. The folk here are lean, sallow, and sickly. They speak in a hoarse whisper, clearing their throat often. An old man hacks up a wad of mucus and spits it onto the floor. Those gathered sense your arrival. The hubbub settles for a beat as the patrons look you over. The moment stretches into an uncomfortable silence. Then someone calls for another ale, and the life returns. At the back of the room, a man in yellow robes and a matching pointed hat sits at a table alone. His eyes light up when he sees you.
We walk over.
Yeah. Hi, do you... I'm so sorry, do you... This just feels like one of those moments where you know that we've met before, but I'll just say I've forgotten, so I'm a little embarrassed. My name's Tag.
No. That's a great name. Thank you.
Hey.
No, you came in and you are, exactly what I'm looking for. So this couldn't be better for anybody, really. I think this is good. You're adventurers, right?
I think we can safely say...
No, I can see you're adventurers.
Can you tell what I can do?
Well, I know that you have a one-syllable first name, and therefore probably everyone else does too, along with a class and a profession. And you travel together solving mysteries, righting wrongs, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's just spooky, man. That's...
Yeah, no, you're exactly what I'm looking for.
I recognize another wizard, and I'm like, hello!
Hello!
Fellow magic user!
Yeah, well, probably. It depends. Day-to-day kind of thing with me.
You do magic.
I do tag, right? Tag?
Yeah.
You told me already that's not the trick, but look. Hold on. I love your hat. Don't mind if I do. Boom!
What?
Magic.
What?
Okay. Time out on the magic.
Okay.
I feel like Tag is experiencing the space Void Jumpers version of the the David Blaine meme?
Yeah.
Chris Angel meme?
That's more of a party trick than anything. But you're adventurers.
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Look, you've got this sweet face. I don't know what it is. You seem trustworthy. I'm going to just lay it out on the line.
Great.
We are of a sorts, but we're also... Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. We're dealing with a new set of powers that we're unfamiliar with.
Oh, man. That is so strange because I've been there, dude. I've been there.
You have?
You know? Yeah. So you're like brand new skins, right?
Yeah.
Just everything feels like you still know who you are, but everything you do is a little bit different. It's a rough way to live. Or not live, as the case may be. You know? Okay.
Huh?
You ever feel like you're just a character in a story, but maybe your character is important to the story, so that's why God hasn't given you the sweet embrace of death yet?
Are you selling something?
No. I mean, yeah, but no. Not the sweet embrace of death, certainly. That's certainly doesn't
Rex
have...
is suddenly way more able to think about these things philosophically than she ever has been before in her life. Like, it was always very cut and dry before, and now there's...
You want to sit down? I mean, I got this whole table to myself. The big yellow hat keeps away strangers a lot more than you might think.
Don't mind if I do. I'm thirsty.
As you guys sit down and begin to look around the room to flag down a waiter, the air around you grows thick and humid. Black water pours down the walls, collecting in an ankle-deep murk. Vines
That's
grow
never
from
coming
the
out of
cracks
these
in the
robes.
floorboards and climb toward the ceiling, creating a thick canopy. Movement
Here we
and
go.
visibility are reduced. A lithe reptilian form rises from the murk. Thick chitin covers the creature's bodies. Gills swell at its neck. The eyes, most unsettling, appear human. The flat face and abundance of small needle-like teeth do not. The creature slides back into the black water, disappearing beneath the surface. What do
My
you do?
toes are on the bench.
Okay.
They're up.
All right. Perf is up on his chair. We're going to drop into what will be the second monster fight.
Yay!
Let's start with Perf. Right now, you don't have a visible target. You can roll lore to locate it, or you can just do whatever you want.
Well, how many people are in here in the water?
There's still a bunch of people in this bar, and you can see that they are all scrambling up onto their tables. The bartender is standing on top of the bar holding a spear.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm squishing it in with my galoshes.
Okay.
I also am going to get on the table, up as close to up against the wall, maybe on the top edge of the booth.
Okay.
Really, really far away from that water.
Okay. For right now, you will be protected from any attacks that are going to be getting you from the water. You'll have a +1 to react to them should you be attacked.
All right. Yeah, the rest of it is just me keeping my eyes open and
Okay.
waving my hands at it in a threatening manner.
Okay. Tag.
This guy has freaked me out a little bit in the way that he seems like he knows too much, and so seeing him get on the table, I'll also start to climb up on the bench, meaning to just take a step up, and inevitably he does a backflip somersault and ends up balancing on one foot on the table, crouching tiger style. I think that this sounds like an opportunity attack. I'm gonna ready my bow. In fact, let me go even higher than that. Are there rafters on the ceiling that I can flip up to?
Definitely.
Yeah, great. So I'm gonna kind of take a spot up there and just camp out and notch my bow.
Okay.
That's even better.
Hey,
I think that when you are not in immediate danger, Tag, because you are so dexterous, if something seems like it would be an easily obtainable ninja move, you can just do it. Were you trying to scrabble up the rafters while being chased, you'd probably have to roll. But right now, you just parkour up with a big smile on your face because you feel cool. If anything appears, you will be able to take a shot.
Great.
Sam.
Well, knowing quite a bit about these sort of aquatic monstrosities, I would like to use a lore check to navigate it either under the ripples of the water or understand its primary means of attack.
You got it.
11.
Okay. You can ask 3 questions from the Read a Bad Situation list.
Okay. Let me pull that up quickly. Sorry. All right. What are there any dangers that we haven't noticed yet?
You can see that the creature moving underneath the water in a way that must be magical because the water is not deep enough for this, is creeping towards Rex and preparing to attack.
All right, I point and alert Rex, guiding with my finger the approximate location of the creature as it approaches. And that, I guess that also indicates what's most vulnerable. So I guess the question I would ask then last is, what is the best way to protect the patrons of the bar and my fellow heroes?
You're going to want to kill this thing. You know that it is water element, and so anything that deals damage against water, which would be blight or bloom or electricity, is going to deal good damage.
Okay.
Rex, you're going to get a +1. It is now your turn because the wizard pointed out the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
As you spin to see it, it looks like it is about to explode up out of the water and grab you.
I think I will, as nimbly as I am able to, kind of leap backwards and then do something that Rex almost never does, which is like try and take cover behind my shield.
Okay. Roll act under pressure with an additional +1. Oh yeah, we're not using the same things. This would actually be Dex. I gotta remember that we're using slightly different shit. You're just rolling plus dex with a +1. It's going to be a fail still. Is that what that face is?
Oh no!
Okay.
Your
Rex
fail is really good, though.
trips over her robes, which are slimy and disgusting, as the creature explodes out of the water. It grabs a hold of her and attempts to pull her under. Rex, roll plus strength.
That's a 9.
Okay. You were pulled under, but you remain visible. You may not move, but you may still attack or take any action which does not require movement. So you see the creature from the Blight Lagoon pull Rex underneath the water. And again, it's as though there is an illusion happening because she is fully submerged in what should only be ankle-deep water. Which brings us to Bryn.
Okay, Bryn's got a feeling. She's got like this tingling sensation to kick some ass. It's a very new feeling. She's like, I'm gonna try this new body out, and so I'm gonna run towards a table, leap up onto it, hop off the table, grab my sword, do a flip, and slam down my Buster sword onto the creature.
Okay. Roll. Kick some ass. Plus strength.
10.
Okay. How much damage does that thing do?
3.
Okay. You go and jump off of this, flip forward, and unsheath a sword that is the size of clouds from Final Fantasy VII. So it is the size of you. And you bring this sword down into the creature, who immediately releases Rex and recoils from a mighty blow. But in an attempt to dip back underwater, it kicks out with its claws, and you take 2 harm, physical, which I think does not get through your armor.
Nope.
Okay, which brings us back around to Perf, right?
Yeah. Now I can see this thing and it's injured, correct?
Yes, it is bleeding.
All right, I'm gonna cast a spell at it.
Okay. So here's how I think it's going to work for you, Perf. You will declare the spell you are trying to cast before you roll, and then you'll roll, and we'll see what happens.
All right, I'm going to attempt to cast Mythic Toaster
Okay.
because it's a water creature, and I know you're not supposed to put a toaster in the water.
Okay.
I tried this on Water Planet and it didn't work so well.
Oh,
But I mean,
well,
go
I'm
for it
sure
now.
with me being quite the master magic user that this will go perfectly well. I have a reputation for this kind of thing. I wouldn't worry if I were you.
A reputation for appliance-based magics?
Just, great and powerful magics in general.
Gotcha.
I've got a, oh gosh, if that's what I think, that's a 12.
All
Right.
Oh,
I rolled,
Spell.
sorry, they're both fancy dice, so they have 6s in place of odd things. I've got my Rift die and my Hyper RPG die.
Love it.
But they're both 6s.
That's
All right.
a mythic fucking toaster, my friend.
Dude, shoot it out.
So what does that mean? What happened? Did it work? That means it works, right?
Yes, on a full success, you cast the spell as written. You also get a bonus area of effect up to 3 enemies with full harm to each, but in this case, because there's only 1 enemy, you just deal additional damage of 1 harm. But you summon a mythic toaster and fling it at your target, dealing 4 harm, but because it is electricity, you're going to double that to 8. So what you see is Perf. Will you describe how you cast the spell, and I'll tell you what happens to the creature?
Well, he doesn't use much in the way of chanting. It's mostly just like him trying to concentrate and remember how it goes, and then just kind of summoning something in his hand and throwing it as hard as he can like a baseball.
This thing flings forward at the strength of a wizard's toss, so it's kind of a soft pitch.
Yeah,
But in the air on the way to the creature, it ignites in electricity and rockets forward like a meteor, striking the creature who's flailing around in the water, and vaporizes it. What you see is a disintegrating skeleton, very reptilian, sinking down into the water.
Just before it dips under the waterline, seeing that my opportunity is probably long gone, I just release the arrow. Got it. Nailed it.
I 100% meant to do that.
As the arrow strikes the skull and pins it to the ground, the water recedes, all of the vines crawl down off of the walls, and the room slowly returns to normal until there is only an arrow sticking in the ground and no more skull.
And yet
Everyone-
my robes are still extremely wet and now
Disgusting.
absolutely covered in muck.
Yes.
Sir,
Everyone in the
you are
bar
the most
saw this.
accomplished wizard I have ever seen in my life. You must be from a class I.
Yeah, thanks.
Sam, Bryn, okay.
Wow. I turned
So,
a vampire to solid ice, and that didn't do it for you. Okay, all right. I understand you're jealous because she would have picked me. I understand.
Okay.
you turned a vampire into ice? That is incredibly impressive. I literally just threw, I don't know what, at a fish man. That's not the same thing.
No, but
That's the same spell that I cast every time I cast a spell. That's the first time that's ever happened.
yeah, I agree. It was also miraculous. I just think the fact that Tag totally disregarded Bryn and myself from the whole magic conversation was just,
What?
I don't know.
Sam,
Well, hey,
listen.
let's talk about this. Have you been traveling with Tag a long time? You guys,
Yeah. Yes,
You
we
go
have.
Is this an intervention? What is happening right now? I
Maybe
said
Tag
one
is
nice
just-
thing to this new guy that we
Tag.
haven't met before.
hey, Tag, come on, let them get the feelings out. That's important. Maybe they're just so used to seeing you being amazing that they don't feel they need to tell you anymore. I mean, you guys are friends, right?
Yeah.
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 I think so.
You don't give the people that you see every day that you love more than anybody the compliments they deserve. I mean, none of us are good enough to our friends, don't you think?
Yeah, maybe
You're right.
Well, maybe Puck.
Bryn, Sam, I'm sorry.
I didn't meet Puck. Who's Puck? You got a guy?
Nobody.
Tag, it's okay. I'm sorry. I don't
I
know what's
think-
going on. This warrior status has got me really amped up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sam, I think you're. I'm just not used to seeing you. I think you're great. I think when you turned the lady to ice, that was so cool, man. And I wasn't. If I was jealous of anything, it was that sweet magic powers that you had.
No, I'm sorry.
Come on, bro.
I'm just feeling self-conscious. I'm not used to the whole like pointy hat and it's like I fell in the mud. It's just you're doing parkour and like you talk to her first. You just you're so impulsive and I didn't mean to lash out. It was a great spell and it saved the day. So it was a great spell.
I think while this conversation is happening, it's like in the middle of this tavern, most of the chairs that you guys were sitting in have been kicked over. The table is where Perf is still standing. And you kind of get this sense of silence, and you all look around having this post-battle, very casual argument about who's cooler than who, and see everyone who was in this tavern up against the wall, terrified. And one of the waitresses walks over with a shaking hand and a pad and says, "Thank you for saving us. Anything on the house. Anything on the house."
Do you have space bubbles?
Space bubbles, yes. And she disappears and comes back with a tray full of glasses that are clinking as she's shaking and a bottle of space bubbles and presents it to Bryn. She then bows, will not accept any money, and leaves. Everybody else in the bar filters back down to the tables, and you guys have a moment. Bryn,
Anyone? Space
Yeah,
bubbles?
I love it.
hold that up for us to see.
What do you got? Space bubbles. Man, I've been wanting to try those. I keep having to buy the off-brand one.
Yes, they're delicious.
Starfish.
All right, I pour
Starfish,
some in
yeah.
everybody's glass.
Yeah, I'll take some of that.
Yeah, to new adventures.
Oh man, what a great thing to toast to. That reminds me. I mean, let's to new adventures, absolutely.
To new adventures.
The new adventures.
And new friends. Wow, really looks like a lot of us just peed in the glass and drank it.
Wait,
Oh.
what?
Space fizz. Good. That's good stuff.
Mine would be very hydrated, P. Pretty light.
That's good.
Hold on. What are we talking about? Is space fizz urine? Did somebody not tell me that little joke before we started?
No, it's not. Hey, listen, I didn't even catch your name.
Oh gosh, I am so rude. Sorry, my name is Henley, and most people call me Perf.
Perf?
Yeah, I'm apparently a great wizard. Who knew?
I think so.
Yeah.
Are
Well,
you
what-
looking for someone to adventure with?
Kinda, a little bit, yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but this town is a little creepy crawly. There's there's been vampire sightings and restless dead of various sorts. I even heard a story about a fish guy that mysteriously popped up in the middle of the tavern not 5 minutes ago.
Do you know what a summoner is?
Cut to.
The exit interview with the fish guy. Hey, so, I gotta say, it probably didn't go like anyone expected. You've been training a long time for this encounter, and it doesn't even look like you got a hit in. How do you feel?
I wasn't ready for it to be at the tavern. I thought I'd be coming in later at the mansion, so geographically I was a little outside my element. I also I ate pretty recently, so I feel like maybe that slowed me down.
Okay, well, great job, and maybe we'll see you next year. Everyone, that's Creature from the Blight Lagoon. Give it up.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. Cut down. Cut back to Perf.
Oh.
Does that happen to you guys a lot?
It's starting to. Yeah, we're new to the planet. And there's a lot of things that we don't understand. We're looking.
Planets. You guys travel in between planets then. So you're like really, really good adventurers.
We're looking for the summoner. I don't know if you.
Oh, I've heard tell. Yeah, I could probably get you to the summoner. Get in a meeting and arrange. Are you trying to fight the summoner or what?
No.
Talk to me, man.
Well, Bryn, I shouldn't speak out of turn. Bryn is and I opened the telepathic connection to try and talk to her to make sure it's cool that I reveal that she's a summoner in this tavern. Hey, Bryn?
Yeah.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Bryn, if you can hear me, I don't. Hello. Is it on
And
your
I'm
end?
looking at him, and I'm like, I can't hear you.
And I mouth to her, okay, yeah, I know that I can hear you right here in person. I'm trying to use the brain thing. I can't hear you on the brain thing.
Oh.
Okay, I heard. I
Shit,
see.
did I leave it back in the?
No, I'm a pretty good lip reader. I am seer. That I lost you right around there.
I think I might have left the tooth back in my cabin. Did I take it out? Oh no.
No, it feels.
Are we done talking while you two stare at each other? Is that what's going on?
Sorry,
That's not weird at all.
Sorry, Henley. Perfectly.
As he tells you, he's already just said a couple things that catch you guys off guard. That there's been vampire sightings, weird things happening. You've been a part of it, and also he asked you if you wanted to fight the summoner. Somebody roll investigate a mystery.
What are we adding to that?
It'll be plus lore.
I got it.
Yeah, I don't
Let
know.
me at it. Let me put this big pointy brain to work.
This is happening while Tag and Bryn and Perf are kind of having this strange conversation about a conversation, and Sam starts to just kind of take in the atmosphere.
10.
Okay. Ask me 3 questions off of your investigate a mystery list.
So, what is being concealed here?
So you've seen your own powers and everybody else in your party's powers be drained the moment you walked on this planet. This character in front of you does not seem to be affected. And he's also not wearing one of the necklaces that you're wearing. And that little knowledge, combined with the fact that monsters are just appearing, start to lead you down the path that maybe it's a different kind of magic that you're not familiar with, which is allowing these things to happen.
This wizard is so clever, and Casey is temporarily thought impaired. Can you guys think of other mysteries we
You can field the party if there's any other questions you want answered right now.
Are you saying, Jesse, that a different kind of magic is what is allowing Perf to do what he's doing, or what's allowing these creatures to do what they're doing?
It seems to be a theme in the necklaces you're wearing, Perf's abilities, and these manifestations of creatures. Like, the entire room you were in just turned into a swamp, and after you beat this monster, it disappeared. You know, like, this is shit that you guys... And it wasn't an illusion, because everybody in the bar participated in it, and you're still wet, and there's still blood on you. But it's just like these strange occurrences, and they all seem to be tied to whatever is allowing all of them.
Wouldn't we think it's the Ichor? I mean, this is not out of the ordinary for us to visit a planet with weird creatures.
I'll burn another one of your holes to tell you that this is nothing like the Malice. This is 100% different than the Malice, which is very strange. It doesn't necessarily read as ultimate evil either. It just seems weird.
I think that if I may, Casey, kind of try to tag along with you, if that's cool. I think Tag also, as these conversations are happening, takes a first moment to sort of look out, and he does see those, just everyone carrying the weight of trauma and the weight of having gone through an experience and coming together to seek solace and company in this tavern, having experienced collectively a kind of ordeal. And I think that that is occurring to him for the first time. And I'd like him to try to investigate the question, what happened here, in as much as he can glean it through what feels like the collective experience of this tavern.
Sure.
I think the cleric has also been going around and is, for Rex, the first time where she's actively trying to comfort people.
Okay. And you find it much easier.
Already happening.
Yeah, while
I'll
you're doing...
drink and wait for them to finish doing that stuff.
You watch Rex move through this crowd tag as you start to think about what happened here. Rex, you find it much easier to interact with these people. It's as though some of your natural defenses are more easily paused. And so you're able to open up and share your warmth with these people and bring them back to their table. And a combination of what Rex learns in the crowd and Tag knowing what he knows about strange magic, what you kind of deduce is that these occurrences have been happening more and more frequently, and they seem to be random. But they always seem to be tinged with this danger and also this death or this monster. And what you're starting to get is that whatever the magic is, it appears to be a little chaotic. Recently, when Bryn tried to ram through the door of the tower, she changed places with you. And again, you get the feeling that it too is a symptom of this chaos, this like random magic that's just a little bit harder to control. But these types of things don't appear naturally except in places of power. So you would assume that someone is either doing something that is having side effects or has something that is causing side effects.
Okay.
But these people, they look so not gaunt. They look gaunt because they live on Blight, but they look scared because this place turning into a swamp is one in a series of attacks that has happened on this town.
I'd love to talk to one.
Sure.
Can Rex, can I just join Rex where she is, and together we can, whoever she's tending to, I can listen to that conversation and then jump in?
Sure. You're dealing with a young farmhand who farms like leeks and interesting, like strange vegetables in this very weird ground of the Blight Planet. And she is, she seems physically okay, but emotionally shook up. And she says,
And I say, tell me, young leek farmer, have there been occurrences like this before? It seems like you have seen this kind of magic before.
You know, I was literally just about to tell them all this stuff, right?
Well,
They're like magpies, aren't they?
I just had... Well, my boss disappeared 2 days ago, and we've still been out looking for him. But I've seen things in the field, vegetables growing where they're not supposed to be growing, things I've never seen before. Sometimes I put something into the oven, and it comes out as something different. It's been getting worse. It's never been like this, but it's been getting worse.
That sounds quite terrible.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Since the explosion, I think, which would have been about 3 months ago, which would put it meta at the same time that this usually happens on these planets after you've been traveling for 3 months to get to Blight now. Yeah. She doesn't have much information. She doesn't seem to understand what's going on, and she is very superstitious, so she doesn't supply you much. But about that time, the waitress comes around and brings another bottle, and again tells you that it's on the house, and you all congregate back around your table, and Perf, who has been sitting and drinking patiently.
Were you here, Mr. Henley, when that explosion happened?
About 3 months ago, give or take.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm from this village.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you know where it came from? What it came from?
Well, that's why I was waiting for you. I need a little help, and I need adventurers. And clearly you're important adventurers because, well, I mean, most aren't really important enough to warrant narrative cutaways with throwaway villains.
Yeah, that's a thing that the producers do.
I love it. I love it.
Well, yeah, I think I can speak for the group and say we don't want to waste any time. Whatever leads you've gathered, if you can point us the way.
All right. Well, like I said, they said
you were going to say.
What is that guy? A beet farmer? The beet farmer who apparently is it leeks?
There's another person in a stocking cap who speaks up and says, "Are you talking about a beet farmer?"
Yep, sorry, George, not you. Boy,
No problem there, Henley.
Great.
Leeks are delicious. I'm so hungry.
By the way, George, super good guy, but like if you shake his hand, your hand is going to be pink for like a week and a half minimum.
Wow.
So just watch the high fives too. They're pretty bad. Or the cheek kisses that he occasionally just comes up and plants on you. Friendly guy, George.
He does seem to be a kisser.
So, I think that these disturbances are originating from the basement of the creepy manor, as opposed to the really nice manor, which doesn't actually exist here. We only have the creepy one. So what I'm looking to do is hire some brave adventurers who are important to the story to go in there and, seek out the mystery of the scary place that I desperately want to go to with you, apparently.
I'm sorry, you said hire? Does that mean there will be recompense?
Oh, yeah.
I'm internally a little astonished that I came up with the word recompense.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely there's going to be tons of recompense.
Good, I shall give it to charitable causes.
Oh my. Oh, that is heroic. Okay, yeah, let's do that. So far, you're my favorite. I'm just kidding, Tag. I didn't mean that. Love you, baby.
Around about the time you agree to assist Henley here on getting into the basement of Blight Manor, the room goes quiet again. Only this time the quiet holds. It's strained and unnerving. You turn to see that a mountain of a man has entered the tavern. He wears a moth-eaten servant's uniform, regal attire, but quite old-fashioned. The fabric is a sickly green color, the color of blight. Underneath the servant's coat tag, you notice the telltale signs of a parallels armor. All eyes follow as he approaches your table. When he nears, you can see his skin is pale and waxy, stretched taut over sunken cheeks.
Summoner, co-saint,
he says, his lifeless eyes falling on Bryn.
I bring tidings from Blight Manor. Summoner Capio has invited you to dine with him this evening.
Well, thank you. I do have some friends, some plus ones, if that's okay.
Of course.
There's food?
A feast will be prepared in honor of your arrival.
Yes. Well, let me check. I look at you guys and I'm like, do you want to go?
Oh, Perf's yes.
I had this whole clandestine mission to get inside planned. But I mean, you got invitations, so who needs this crap?
Perf, you recognize this character as Figmot. He is the lead butler of the head of Blight Manor.
Great name.
What did you say his name was?
Figmot.
Figmot.
And the summoner who you'll be meeting, Ezra Capio, was named by
yes.
staff and Perf.
His brother Luigi fixes my plumbing. The Capio.
Yes. Ezra and Luigi. Classic duo.
Figmot lets you know that there is a carriage waiting for you outside to take you to the manor if you are ready to leave.
I'm going to drop a couple coins on the table. I know they're not giving us a bill, but as a tip for our waitress and the cooks.
Sure. As this arc moves forward, the only currency that they use on Blight is gold. Each of you started with some, based on the class that you chose. So make sure you mark how many you chose. Well, you're a warrior.
I know. I'm going to have to conserve. I'm just going to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. There we go.
We will not often use currency in this because Bryn, for the most part, and Rex, with her executive privileges, can just hand wave stuff. But on Blight, things are going to be a bit different.
Okay.
And it is mostly because Perf would be able to tell you that Summoner Capio is a bit eccentric.
I like eccentrics. This should be fun.
I meant like, oh God, what do you think eccentric means? Because the way I was using it was like, he's kind of a wackadoo.
Unexpected and off the beaten path and very interesting is what I think.
Oh, yeah, no, he's all of those things, for sure.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Still.
Outside, night has fallen. A fog has settled over the village. It is impossible to see more than a few meters. What little light there is comes from the full moon, its gray rays suffused by the vapor. A grand old carriage waits for you in the lane. Horses paw the ground nervously. They are thin, one might even say skeletal. Figmot says, "Your chariot awaits." Bryn, you're caught by a faint sensation, and your hand instinctively goes to the wound on your neck, and you can feel two distinct puncture marks in your neck. And then you have this feeling as though the darkness outside washes that faintness away and actually enlivens you a little bit, and you feel excited about being outside at night.
Do you, Bryn, touch your neck at all as you do this? Is there any indication?
I would like to examine this neck puncture wound. With
Sure.
Doing a normal girl move where I'm like, oh,
No, it's good to remind us that that was in fact real life. It's just coming out of the haze of that love connection, that there was some other things going on.
Plus lore, investigate a mystery.
Wow. This new Sam Wizard is rolling hot. That was a 12.
One smart cookie?
That's just a solid 12.
That's 3 questions off of the investigate a mystery list pertaining to Bryn's wound.
Well, I know what happened. I know what sort of creature it was. What is going to happen as what is the result of the bite?
You can tell after a closer examination and kind of fielding it with your new magical powers that Bryn has been cursed with vampirism. You're able to look up in the glossary of your spell book that vampirism typically takes 3 full days to manifest, but on the end of the 3rd day, Bryn will become a vampire, and she will need to feed on blood to survive. There are other things that will happen if she turns into a vampire, but that is what you know for sure.
What can we do to prevent or reverse the effect?
You can either find someone who has an alchemical cure or very strong magic.
I got all sorts of curses.
Rex, you have an ability, should you take it on your level up, called, Cleanse Dark Magic, which removes any curses or magical effects from the target. So when you level up, if you take that, Rex could potentially heal Bryn as well.
Well, we've got 2 days.
Better fail a lot.
3 days. So
I believe in us. I believe we can fail that much.
Okay, so you all climb into the carriage. It is very old-fashioned, but it is very what you would have once, you would think at one point was very regal. It is now crumbling and moldy, but you have a lot of room. Figmont climbs up onto the driver's seat outside the carriage after closing you in, and the entire thing dips down under his weight. But the carriage, it's very like padded walls, lace curtains over the windows.
Is it a black pumpkin?
It is a black beet. The carriage trundles up the lane. You can see little of the ride due to the fog. It isn't long before you sense an incline of the road, traveling upwards up towards the manor. For a moment, pale gray moonlight breaks the fog, and you can see that you have entered a cemetery. Headstones dot the hillside. Your eyes follow them up, and again you catch a glimpse of Blight Manor, looming over the burial grounds. You are struck once more by that cold, sinking feeling. Is the house waiting, brooding, merely biding its time? The temperature inside the carriage drops as though in response to your proximity to this menacing estate. The mansion's walls are bone white. Thick ivy entangles the towers, strangles the columns which stand sentry beside the grand entryway. And then the fog eclipses the moon and you are returned to the suffocating obscurity of the fog. After what feels an eternity, the carriage rolls to a stop. Figmont climbs down off the driver's seat and opens the door. "Allow me to welcome you," he says, gesturing proudly, "to Blight Manor."
Dun.
You are now standing outside. He crosses and opens the door, but you do have a moment as a party to steal a quick word should you want to discuss anything before entering the manor.
Okay, guys. Remember, I think whatever we're looking for is in the basement.
Okay. Does Summoner... Is it Ezra?
Capio, Ezra is his
Ezra? Does he have any, like, customary greetings or polite rules or anything we should be aware of? Don't want to offend him.
Yeah. You remember the thing I said about the wackadoo?
Yeah.
I think you can make something up and he'll probably go for it.
Oh. Okay.
Be as overtly formal as you possibly can.
Formal.
If you have any titles, make sure you announce them at once because he'll know if you leave any out.
Okay.
And some kind of bow is customary, but it can't be standard.
Right.
Okay.
It has to be
There has
fancy.
to be a flourish of some kind. He's very big on the flourish. Don't worry, if you mess it up, he won't say anything, but the grudge will be obvious. So,
Well, that you said don't worry, but that does seem like a negative outcome.
I'm just saying you'll know where you stand. I'm not saying it'll be in a good place. You know?
I understand. Gotcha. Okay.
Should we do like a group bow, like the wave or something?
Oh, if you can, absolutely.
Okay.
I think we can definitely, without
Yeah,
rehearsal.
if you have something
Okay,
pre-choreographed, I highly suggest using that.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's meet him.
Inside, you find the manor in disrepair. Torches light the halls. There's no electricity that you've seen so far on Blight. There are hearths and torches, but no electricity. None of the usual tech that you would be familiar with, even on a backwater planet. The company usually has as its hands in what villages there would be. You have not seen any evidence of the company. Where shadows do not hide the worst details, you see that rot has softened the corners of the entranceway. Paint peels, floorboards creak. What little furniture is left is uninviting. Figmont leads you through several dark corridors before stopping outside a large wooden door. He produces an ancient key ring, selects a key, and says, "The master asks that you make yourself comfortable in the den." He unlocks the door. "I will summon you when it is time for the feast."
I thought that was his job. Because
The summoner,
he's
right?
he's the
No,
summoner.
no, God, you are the funny one, aren't you? Ah,
Well,
God,
no
I've been
one
trying to
said that
figure it
yet.
out because you're all quite humorous. But you just took it.
About 30 seconds later, Figmont goes,
Figmont gets it.
I get it now. I
Yeah,
get
he
it
gets
now.
it. All right.
And he gestures for you to go into the den.
Okay.
Hey, Bryn,
Yeah.
how you feeling with I saw you punch a lady in the face with brass knuckles. It was a cool move, but it's so unlike you. And I don't know if you. I'm not trying to brag. I don't know if you saw. I did a couple backflips.
I did. It was so cool. I feel okay. It feels so good to actually get in the mix of the fighting instead of just casting spells from far away. It's different, but I like it. It's very instantly gratifying.
You seem like you've taken to it so well and so immediately.
Really? I don't look
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. Say it again.
You don't look stupid?
No, oh my gosh, you don't look stupid at all. You give me a little intimidating rush. It's it fits like a glove, and
You guys
and
are
I
so
don't know if I
supportive
should
of each
be
other.
if I should be suspicious of it or
No, but can you I gestured a tag to like a dark corner. I'm like, my neck's kind of itchy. Can you look and see if there's something there?
yeah. And I'd like to do an investigate roll on that as well.
Sure.
And that's going to be a 10. And I just like to know if there's any way we can slow it a bit so that I imagine if she feels that pleasure of night after a couple hours, there will continue to be an increase of symptoms. I want to see if we can put a bit of a dam in front of those.
You kind of confer with Rex, and you feel that if she were to use a healing spell, you could slow down the symptoms, but you will not be able to stop the clock. So you will have to make the decision of whether that is worth it or not, because Rex has a limited amount of healing spells.
Casey, Sam talked to all of us about your findings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
While you're having this conversation, the door does swing closed. Figmont leaves and closes it behind him, and then you do hear the lock click.
So, is anyone else weirded out by a room in a house called the Den? Is
You
that
take a
just
look
me?
at Perf's, recognizing how the room is called the Den, and you see that the room is very cozy and a fire does blaze in the hearth. The room is crowded with overstuffed chairs. Hunting trophies adorn the walls, the heads of ferocious-looking beasts and sinister reptiles. Their eyes seem to follow you as you make your way across the room.
The Den.
Do you, Perf? Have you been into the manor before?
Personally,
Yes.
no.
But
No, I heard they had a den, and I did not want to go into a house with a room called a den. It doesn't make any sense to me. There should be wolves or lions or bears in here.
I suppose that's fair. I hadn't quite thought of it like that before. But you said you grew up on this planet.
Yeah. What other planet would I grow up on exactly?
Oh, people find ways to come and go.
What people? Gods?
Really? I don't know if you're pulling my leg. Does
I'm
no
a
one?
simple village man with a few magic tricks up my sleeve. I'm very nebulous. I'll be honest.
Well, there is a world out there. I don't know if you
Right,
haven't.
and I believe you on that. I've heard lots about the world. I study about it. I read about it. What I don't read about is other worlds.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you've ever wanted to visit those other worlds. But we
I
just
really
happen
like hanging out in this little town that occasionally floods and fills with monsters.
You do?
Okay.
That seems a little odd.
It is that was 100% sarcastic. I'm sorry. I have a thing. You guys are so nice.
You should come visit the Fire Planet. It's my home planet.
You're from a
Everybody's
fire
welcome.
planet.
We have people from all over the continuum.
That sounds warm.
It's toasty, but it's also got really good taverns and very lively people.
Excellent
Good pizza.
barbecue, I imagine.
Why, yes, we do have barbecue.
See?
Really
I don't
excellent
think that
pizza
is.
too.
Yeah, very good pizza. And moonberry pie. It's a specialty there. It's only grown on that planet, our moonberries. I'm actually really missing it right now. I'm so hungry.
Moonberries.
Yeah, I only ask Mr. Henley because you seem like, and I don't mean any offense by this, but you just seem like you strike me as a man with a purpose. And maybe that purpose is here on the Blight Planet.
Yeah, I'm looking out for my fellow villagers, my friends.
Sure. Okay. Sure. I
Then
think.
why were you sitting all alone?
Because most of my friends aren't around anymore.
That's sad.
That is terribly sad. I'm so sorry.
No, I finally found some brave adventurers to, come check this place out. So that's something.
That's right. We'll be your friends.
Really? That's great. What?
Yeah.
As this conversation is happening, I know there's a lot of creepy stuff on the walls, but I want to see if there's anything that strikes me as not just ornamentally creepy, but functionally weird, out of place, or wrong.
Sure.
On a another 10.
Okay. You do notice that there are several places in the room which seem to be affected by a kind of magic that you are no longer familiar with. When Sam comes over to investigate, and Perf, You can see that they are wards, as though they are keeping things out of the house. The eyes on the heads are actually following you, and you find that they have been rigged to just swivel and follow any life energy that's in the room, but they are not actually haunted. And then you do find I guess this is going to burn all your hold, but you will find behind one of the bookshelves a hidden door. It is locked.
I look around at the group, guys. I couldn't tell you why, but I have a great feeling that I could pick this lock. And as I'm talking, I find my hand reaching into a pouch on my robes and pulling out, as if out of nowhere, a lockpick kit. Some thieves' tools, if you will. I assume this is a lore roll?
For lockpick, it's going to be Dex.
Oh, okay. Same marker. 9.
Okay. You are able to open the lock, but it'll take some time. You find that the mechanism is a combination of books that you will not be able to correctly pull out. So you get the tools going and start working on the lock. You do know that you've been told that soon somebody will be summoning you for dinner, but you're able to get to work on the lock.
Okay. I'd like to do it somewhat discreetly, even if it takes more time. Essentially, I'd like to get to a waypoint that...
Sure.
Mr.
Are we robbing the summoner then?
No.
No.
Possibly.
I would never allow
I thought we were waiting to go to dinner.
Me
We
too.
are. Look, I, in here, agree with you. I do not in any way support that. But
Your eyes agree with me?
I reach into my pocket. I don't even know where these have come from, and I'm holding. So I'm like, I don't remember taking them. I really don't.
Tag! We can't steal from the summoner. That's
I'm
like
sorry,
stealing from me. Don't do it.
And I put them back. Bryn, you know me, and I promise it was.
Hold on. I'm sorry. You're a summoner?
Oh shit. Yeah. Yes.
Noted.
Hello, I'm Bryn.
But
Noted.
you're so nice. You don't seem dangerously insane at all. That's odd.
How many summoners have you met?
Unclear.
So with a partial success on this roll and the lockpicking taking some time, what you're going to be able to do is when you slide the bookshelf open, there are 3 items inside. You will only have enough time to look at one of them before you will hear the keys rattle. There is a black dagger, a small burnt book. It does not look like it has been destroyed, but it does look like it has been damaged. Or half of a human skull cut down the center.
Oh, you say black dagger, and I think, duh, black dagger, and then you say burnt book, and suddenly I feel like I'm living my parents' divorce again, and I've got these 2 forces pulling me in opposite directions, and then you say human skull split down the center. I'm the meme. Yeah, let me take a peek at that skull.
Okay. It has been sheared off in a way that no tool could have achieved. This would have happened from a ritual. What Sam can tell you when he comes over and gets close is that this would have been used as part of a sacrifice in what could only be a necromantic ritual. Necromancy is a magic that we have not talked about much. It's a subclass of a couple different, and it's more a school of thought than it is an actual element. But it is, much like most universes, extremely taboo because it deals with death magic. Most necromancy spells, which you can see from this skull, require sacrifices of living individuals. The more the life force in the individual, the more powerful the ritual it can be used to create. So, bunny rabbit isn't going to get you much. One of those sunken sallow villagers in the tavern is going to do you pretty good. Sam, who's half Spriggan and currently wearing a wizard necklace, is going to be able to charge something powerful.
Sam, I came over because I thought this looked pretty cool, but I got a bad feeling about it. I really think I'm in the here over my head.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're going to be just fine. Just backflip out of the way.
Are we still on this argument from before? I really am sorry about what I said about the other wizard. He just had the pointy hat. It just.
No, I'm not upset.
Okay, you seem upset.
Oh, I apologize. I'm not.
As you're standing there holding this half of a skull in between you with the secret door wide open, you do hear keys rattle in the door outside.
Okay, be cool. Be cool. Everybody be cool.
Put it back.
Okay. You are able to slide it closed and take a very casually lean on it as Figmont returns, and he says, dinner.
My casual lean is not leaning on it with my elbow, but actually leaning on it like with my leg up by my ear.
In a nice stretch.
Yeah.
So Figmont returns, tells you dinner is served. You're led through another series of torchlit
But how
corridors.
does he say dinner is served?
Dinner is served.
Satisfying.
You're led through another series of torchlit corridors. Though you try to keep track of your path through the house, you quickly lose your bearings. The hallways are a maze without clear pattern. Again, you come to a large set of wooden doors, and Figmont produces his keys. This time, you are ushered into a large dining hall. On the long table, a place has been set for each of you. At the head of the table, there is a throne. It is empty. The master will be with you shortly, Figmont says, and disappears through the servants' entrance.
What do you think this room is called? The lair?
You're now in a very large dining hall with a full spread of silverware and plates, but no food on the table. There's a big fire that's burning. The ceilings are very tall and shrouded by shadow, and there's several chandeliers of flickering candles. The room is well lit, if warm.
I'm gonna
Is there
stand a
anything
little
you'd like?
closer to the fire because my bones are cold, even
Sure.
in this warm room.
Sure.
Dead giveaway that you're in a house that is owned by a magic user is when you have candles 20 feet in the air hanging from the ceiling. Who puts those up there? They don't have ladders that tall.
And as Perf says that, you can see that the candles are not getting any shorter. That they are, in fact, enchanted, as is the fire and the hearth.
Otherwise, somebody would have to climb up there and change them like every day. And I doubt this guy gets a lot of company. Because, you know, he's maybe raising the dead or something.
Oh, that sounds really lonely.
The lair. That's a good name for this one.
Bryn, when you were young and coming into being a summoner, am I correct? There was a whole team of people. You had different teachers and trainers and people working for your mother and for the palace and all this stuff.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
It takes a village, literally.
Right. It seems like it's just Figgy Pudding and the summoner here.
I know. I guess that would lead someone to be a little wackadoo, as you said.
Wackadoodle?
Wackadoodle, wackadoo. I don't know.
I
Where's
don't know.
all his people? Where's the cook?
You saw most of them.
Really?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's mostly ghosts. This guy creeps me out to no end.
And I walk up to Perth and I look at him and I look at his chest and I can hear his heart beating really loud and I'm really fascinated by it. Like,
Lisa, take a +1 forward.
Actually, you do look a little bit like the other guy,
What other guy?
the summoner. I can see the resemblance now. You've got that vacant, hungry look in your eye.
No, I can sense that you're nervous, and I'm wondering why.
Because I'm in the summoner's house with another summoner who's looking at me like I'm dinner.
I'm just really hungry. I haven't eaten since, like, we've been on this planet, and it's been a while.
At
Anyway,
that
from the
moment,
sky then.
Figmont enters, and he appears through the servant's entrance. He has a white towel draped over his arm. I present to you our host for the evening, Summoner Ezra Capio, Master of Blight Manor. An old man enters the room, slapping open the double doors, which only a moment before you passed through. His robes remind you of Bryn's mother's, if only they'd been washed in acid. He walks with a limp, bracing his weight on an old staff carved from gnarled white wood, a black crystal embedded in its crown. "Welcome, welcome," he says. "How pleased I am to see you've accepted my invitation. What a wonderful surprise."
I like him instantly.
And we're going to pause right there to take a quick 2-minute break.
They collect wives?
Ex-wives.
Ex-wives.
Yeah, not deliberately. I tell you, every one of them was the one. Does that thing make whiskey? Puck raises his fists and says, "It's a 2-drink minimum."
I bear hug him.
That is what I was hoping you would do!
And I go, ah! Breaking sound!
Welcome back. You're all standing in front of the fire at a very... Oh yeah, dancing! Dancing!
We're very good at it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're all standing in front of the fire and you've just turned as a group to see Summoner Ezra KPO enter into the room and welcome you to his house!
I approach him and I say, "Thank you so much for inviting us. My name is Bryn, co-saint, and these are my friends."
This look comes over him as if he's a little offended by what's happening right now.
Don't forget to bow.
I ran over. Everybody grab hands. Start on the end, and we'll just do a wave bow, okay? On the count of 3. On 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh my God, they did.
He just holds up his hand and goes like this.
Allow me to introduce myself first. I am the wizard Sampucual of the House of Noir. We have come a great distance to celebrate with you this fine eve. And to celebrate even more so, I shall summon the other half of myself to doubly celebrate you, not in one body, but in 2. Oh, illustrious summoner!
I did not see this coming.
Oh!
And as Sam bows down, as he stands back up, he rises up as Puck.
Would you like to describe to us what Puck looks like?
So, as Sam bends down, a poof of smoke shoots out of both of his wizard robe sleeves, and a pink cloud rises up from under his hat, and a sound like riffles, and you see all the robes start to flutter like there's a great windstorm underneath, and they start to shrink down a little bit. And as Sam stands upright, instead of Sam, it is now an incredibly slender, more slender than any regular human could be, black obsidian stickman, who has a rather oversized head, and he takes off his hat to bow again, and you realize that his head is the same shape as the pointy hat. Greetings, friend. I am Puck, you all, of the House of Noir. And he puts the hat back on. Whoop!
Once he sees that you are a Spriggan, the glee, the bubbliness kind of fades and he locks onto you. And
Probably fine.
almost loses himself in looking at the energy crackling through these crystals, and he says, "Oh my, I didn't think that would be possible." And he looks over to Perf and has a sly smile and says, "Very interesting guests we have this evening."
Aha!
Yup.
Please sit. I
sit at the at the chair closest to the door.
Okay.
As Tag goes to sit, he essentially does the choreographed routine from the Britney Spears music video, I believe, Stronger, where she like kicks the chair up, spins it around, puts it down, walks up the chair, kicks it with her other foot, spins it around, lands on it backwards.
Does the step over?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I didn't think that was safe to try here with my,
He just like is the whole time just.
Monsieur le Summoner, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tagle Jean-Baptiste de Savoie. I am here at your great pleasure and at my own honor to not only serve but to entertain. We are assembled here at your humble. Signor.
Oh my!
I look over at Bryn, so I'm like, so you're a summoner and you've got a Spriggan and a Borat with you?
I totally do, and I very nonchalantly sit right next to Perf.
Okay.
I sit 5 times to demonstrate that I listened very carefully when he said sit, 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 sit.
Okay. And this he takes as its own strange dance, and he too stands and tries to match pace with you. All right, that's kind of silly, isn't it? Well, I'm winded after all those introductions, but hey, let's get on with this feast. I'm starving.
Me
and he
too.
Claps. He claps. Figmont re-enters, followed by a staff of waiters. The first people you've seen in this house besides him. Like Figmont, their skin is waxy and pale, their cheeks sallow. Each carries a covered silver platter which they set down in front of you. In unison, they remove the covers to reveal a feast. There are black noodles drenched in aromatic slime, chunks of charred meat, a bubbling vat of filmy green soup, kebabs of root vegetables, and steamed white orbs. And at the center of the table, a rather large fish, a swamp creature with a wide mouth and whiskers, a cavity in its abdomen overflows with purple and black roe. Eat! Eat! Summoner Capio says, you must be starving clear to death. And he reaches into the fish and with his bare hands scoops out a huge handful of roe and slaps it down onto his plate and starts licking his fingers.
I'm not eating any of that.
What does this
Do the same.
Yeah, you guys just start digging into this food with your bare hands. There
Can
are
I just say
silverware.
I'm a simple cleric. Bread is all I require.
Sure. When you take a bite of the bread, it's very soggy, but it does not look to have been buttered at all.
as we chew
As a
Puckley,
humble cleric, I require no butter to my bread.
I lean over to whoever's next to me as I have like a mouthful of this like slop. And just it's actually kind of funny because I don't have taste buds.
That is funny.
Wait, just on
Heading
this
to the
planet, or
beach,
you never
it's
do?
bright red. It's like
Emma,
Bryn stares at it and is like, "This is interesting." She's super into the beat. She takes a bite of it.
I grab a glass and I concentrate on it. And I try to conjure some milk into it.
Okay. Bryn, the beat doesn't sate your hunger. It almost makes you hungrier. Roll plus magic. Perf.
All right. I rolled a 6. Oh, plus
Okay.
my magic, which is good, right? That's like more.
You are lucky, yes.
That could have been very bad, but instead isn't bad at all.
would have summoned a cow on the table.
What did you roll?
I'm trying to pull. I seem to have.
You got a +3 to magic.
Yeah,
You got
so
good.
9 altogether.
Okay. So, Chaos Magic randomizes the spell. First, pick a glitch from that list. And then you're going to roll a d20.
Okay, we'll say this. The spell has a problematic side effect. Sounds like
Okay.
a good glitch.
Roll a d20.
And a d20. Okay. let's see what that is. Okay, what I actually do is summon Mythic Toaster.
Okay.
And fling it at a target.
You.
Which I'm assuming was the glass.
Yes. Your toaster it appears in thin air and smashes into this glass, spraying glass and water all over the place and knocking several of the silver platters down onto the ground. Immediately, Figmont is followed into the room by several waiters as they clean up the mess. But Capio says, "Ah, a challenge, I see." And,
I'm sorry, what?
roll me a d20, would you, Christian?
Yes, I will. That's a natural 20.
Whoa! He summons a rather large sword, and it says, will you do the voice for me, please?
Oh no, not that sword. All right, which one of you sissies wants to get cut?
My glass of water, sir! And he smashes the sword of fighting into the table, which cracks it down the center. This is a 20-foot long table that cracks down the center. The entire feast slides into the middle, and the entire feast falls onto the floor. As soon as the table has been destroyed, you can see that he's missed his water glass, and it is balancing precariously on the edge of the table. He dismisses the sword and says, "Touche, wizard." Now, while my minions
take a sip from my toaster.
While my minions clear this up, might I ask you, Summoner Cossaint, what it is you're doing in my neck of the woods?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's been some things happening on the planets in the continuum, and we got word that there's been some interesting and unusual things happening here, and I have been sent by my mother to investigate.
Interesting. I don't believe you.
Well, what would you like me to do to prove that I am honest?
It's not you, Bryn, that makes it seem like you're here for other means, but there's been a problem going on in the continuum system for a long time, wouldn't you say? And ain't anybody coming down to Blight to see how they can help us fix it? This planet is sapping the life out of my people, and it has been since the very beginning, but that doesn't seem to be a problem.
Well, okay, you found me out. I really just heard a lot of really interesting things about you, and I really wanted to come see if you were, like, real.
He looks at you and considers this for a moment and then says, "Well, Bryn, I can assure you, I'm very real." What did you want to know?
Where are all your staff?
Oh, some of them are there. And he points to the ones who are cleaning up the mess. He says, "I've had to downsize a little bit, sure, but it's just the cost of doing business, you know."
Well, is your manor really haunted?
I beg your pardon?
There's been rumors that your manor is haunted, and nobody has come back that I've heard that has stayed here.
Oh, interesting. Well, I can tell you I've been doing some fun little experiments, and I could see how that would be giving people the wrong idea about what's going on up here. But as far as I know, a humble backwater summoner like myself, it's not haunted. It would take incredibly powerful magic to produce the spirits of the dead.
Who said anything about spirits of the dead?
No one actually said that was probably.
I'm sorry, cleric. What kind of hauntings do they have in wherever it is you're from? He actually looks at the continuum symbol that's on your necklace and shield, and curls his lip a little bit at the sight of it.
Like Elvis?
Yeah.
Last pennant.
It just seems you are very comfortable with the idea of summoning the spirits of the dead, is all I meant.
Well, it's possible.
You mean it is possible to summon the spirits of the dead, or it is possible that you yourself are interested?
Well, it's possible to summon the spirits of the dead, but, well, Bryn, surely you wouldn't have put that necklace on if you weren't willing to see what new kinds of magic could do. I wouldn't necessarily have anybody in mind to summon, but the ability to reverse death, that's something that would put the Blight planet back on the market.
Mr. Summoner, you have talked about how things were wrong for a long time, but only recently did people come to help. Are you saying that this, weight we feel, the dragging of magic on your planet, this is a problem? I had assumed myself, just part of the experience of being on the Blight planet.
Oh yeah, that is part of the experience of being on the Blight planet. You can bet that. What I'm saying is the problem is we're at the bottom of the list. Every time something else comes up, the problems my people face. We don't have the technology that the rest of the galaxy has. I've been off this planet 2 whole times. And both of those times, I seen electricity. I saw a thing that could go up into the air and carry people and water around.
You're talking about a bird.
Well, I could see why maybe that you are getting confused, but it'd be more of a mechanical bird with wings that don't flap.
Like a flying ship?
Yeah, that thing.
Well, you have invited us here for a reason. Probably not just because of how fancy our introductions are. What have you in mind?
I simply don't like a summoner coming around here, poking around my planet, without getting my permission first.
Look, this is part of my training. I assumed that my mother already talked to you about all this, so I'm here now. Why don't we strike up a deal that's mutually beneficial?
Sure. What do you got in mind?
Well, I'm supposed to stay here overnight, so if you would be so kind as to give us lodgings overnight, we can look into the problems this planet has been having and see if we can help fix it.
I've got a better idea. You can stay here the night, but you gotta leave tomorrow. And what you can do for me is deliver a message. You can take it to your mother and have her pass it on to the rest of the Council of the Summoners, okay? You can tell them to go fuck themselves. Because on Blight, we're doing just fine. And from here on out, we're exiting the agreement. I'm no longer going to be a part of the Council. And if they want anything from me, they can come down here and ask and pay for it the same way that they would anybody else. But no more freebies from Blight. We're tired of being in the shadow of the council. I'm starting my own council. I'm taking applications. You, the wizard, and the chaos wizard, you can both apply. Frenchman?
Yes.
I'd like to see your paperwork first, but I like the look of you. The rest of you, the Continuum sorcerer here, and the fire summoner's heir, can go home. But enough about that. How about a little dessert? He claps his hand.
Now, while that's being served, I've got just a couple of quick questions, and these are for the group. Answer in any way you want, anyone who wants to answer. First of all, am I to understand that the name of the planet that I am residing on is called Blight?
Didn't you go up here?
Yes, this is your home planet.
Yeah, we don't call it that. That's fine. That was where we were. That was Western Swamp. pretty nice place, I guess, as far as places go. Am I living on a planet named Blight? Just yes or no? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes. Seems like a clear yes from the whole group.
Okay, that's why I was getting. It explains the whole shithole vibe I've been getting my entire life. Second question, and again, anyone can answer this. What the actual fuck is electricity?
Oh.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I could go for a little bit of an explanation myself, honestly.
I'm gonna try to shoot fireball out of my fingertips just to show what electricity looks like. Totally forgetting that I can't do magic.
Sure, you will be rolling use magic, and you have a -3, and you probably don't want to fail.
7.
Okay.
I like that the demonstration of electricity is just shooting fire too.
No, it's just crackling fire out of my fingertips.
Your sword catches on fire.
That's pretty much what electricity's like. It lights things up.
That is very cool.
So it makes fire like a fire spell?
Yeah, it kind of shoots. I don't know how to explain this. And
why is this valuable?
It's
thought
just
you
a
were
giant
like a
sword. It's
You
just a
have told me
giant sword.
that you have done a lot of reading about other places, other planets, and other
Yeah,
worlds.
I've read about other places where they have wind machines.
Yes.
I've read about places where they have water wheels that go and help the mill move.
The library's catalog's being updated. Again, one of the many things that you and the company have yet to help us acquire.
Monsieur le Summoner, it really seems to me like you are conflicted in your own desires. Part of you says you do not want anything from the council, that you will start your own council, but you also open this conversation by telling us that you have not received the help that you wanted. And it seems like here we are, an opportunity to, put shoes on different feet. Yes, you have this expression? To change shoes, to put on sleepy socks.
Yes, that's the one actually that rings a bell, is the slippy sock one. Yes. As you guys are talking, servants enter the room. He's going to answer your question, but while he does, the table has been removed from the room because he cut it in half, and all of the food on the floor has been swept up. The waiters return carrying small plates of dessert. Bryn,
that we have to put in our laps.
that you have to put in your laps and hold. Bryn, unlike the other weird, gross food that were on the table, you do recognize this one immediately. Each of you has been presented with a slice of moon pie. Moonberry pie.
Ah, merci bien.
Where did you get this?
Well, we have a way of growing new types of vegetables on the planet. Like I was telling you, I've come across a few new solutions that will ensure that Blight will be able to be self-sufficient and no longer rely on the trade from other planets or the company. And this is just one of our new exports. When you taste it, it tastes pretty darn close. It's not exact, and you can tell that it has something to do with the fruit itself, but it's pretty close to moonberry pie.
This is Bryn. What you have been telling me about for so long, it's delicious. It's magnifique. It's the pie of the moon, huh?
I'm literally still not eating anything from this house.
It tastes like home.
Yeah.
So moonberries, huh? That's what those are.
Yes, that's one of many new things that we've been growing. I had it prepared.
I've heard good things.
Specifically prepared tonight because the one time I visited the fire planet, Bryn's mother presented us all what she said her daughter's favorite dessert was. And it was this stuff. Isn't that fun? Now we're as good at dessert as the fire planet.
Not quite.
He eats another bite. Now I'll answer your question there, Parallel.
Hmm? Who?
This planet's been in the back of the queue for a long time, and we've been entered into an agreement with the council and the company to start receiving better living conditions on a planet that they insist we keep hospitable. But over and over again, we've been overlooked. So I did invite you to this place, but it's not because I need anything from you. And I highly doubt you've been sent here to do anything for me. I will ask you one more time, and perhaps you can answer me, Parallel, honestly. What are you doing on my planet?
Sir, Monsieur the Summoner, your planet has experienced an explosion of energy. Surely you have felt it. Surely you have felt its effects on the planet, on the people who live here. It so happens, speaking humbly, that we have a bit of experience with explosive energies coming from planets. We mean no offense. We want only to investigate with your blessing in hopes of position. Oh, you have a little diggly tail coming off the pie. No, you've got it. It's gone. It's gone. Just to investigate, hopefully we can bring a bit of... I understand there is a bit of what's the word for to patronize, to condescend, to come as foreigners and pretend like we know how to help. No, we are here in deference to you. Our first question upon landing was, where do we find Monsieur le Summoner?
And what exactly does this explosion of energy mean to you?
Well, I would like to ask your opinion. I heard you are the most powerful magic user on this planet. Now,
By far.
You have a challenger here in the
I'm very happy you don't have to rub it in, guys. Come on.
No, I was saying he has a challenger. Like you are both perhaps in contention.
Oh no, not me. Not a thing. I never.
You just did a little wizard's duel, no? You did a little. I show you this, you show me that. What's it called? You show me mine, I show you yours.
That was like it was like the bow. It was a bow. It was my flourish. It's a bow.
Right.
Like yours, just like yours. It did exactly what I meant it to do.
Alors, Monsieur le Summoner, if you want us to be out of your way, we'll be out of your way. If you want company, we'll be company. Is this the first time you have had this pie? You seem ravenous.
It is absolutely delicious.
You should try it on the fire planet sometime.
Why are you doing that? So, and I'm just spitballing here because I'm not really into the whole politics between apparently different worlds. But Lord Summoner, have you considered rebranding? Sometimes just a name change can really liven a thing up. There was a bar I used to go to called the Rusty Wench, but they changed their name into the Gleaming Gal, and even though it looked the same on the inside, I liked it better.
And what would you propose we name our planet instead of Blight?
Well, I mean, blight is like a sickness that plants get, right? So maybe if you named it after like fruit or something that isn't sickly sounding, or like a pretty bird, maybe. I don't know. I'm, like I said, just spitballing here, and if this is unwelcome, I will stop.
No, it is good. The Mango Planet.
That sounds to me better than blight.
Let me explain something to you. There's a perception, not only of this planet, but of Blight itself. As though it's
Blight itself, meaning blight, like the element blight?
Yes. As though it's weaker than the others. As though it needs the others to survive.
Oh no, the way the elemental balance works, that's not true though, right?
Exactly, because wherever there is life, there will be blight. As long as someone survives, so will we. So as long as there is life in this universe, there will be plenty of it for us to drain. Now, and he stands up and throws his plate, even though I'm going to keep eating this pie, at the wall and says, that'll be all we'll be having. Mr. Summoner, I'll ask you to leave first thing in the morning and tell your mother, like I said, to go fuck herself. Wizards and Frenchie.
Yes, sir.
I'll expect those applications. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for coming and seeing me, but that'll be all.
I'm gonna walk up to him.
He's leaving the room, but you are able to match pace with him.
I'm just gonna say, I'm really sorry. It sounds like somebody really hurt you in your past, and I know how horrible it is to be neglected and not listened to. But if you need somebody to talk to, I'll be here till tomorrow morning.
He stops and turns to you, Bryn, and says, really? You know how hard it is to be neglected and not listened to?
Yeah,
You do?
I do. My whole life was set out ahead of me. I didn't have any choice. I just had to follow along.
Huh. Sounds horrible.
Get used to it.
You sure do, Bryn. You sure do. And he leaves.
I love the out of game. I love that big hulking like horned helmet Bryn is just being like, I'm so sorry you've been neglected.
Oh wow, that was so much worse than I thought it was going to be.
We got pie out of it, so I say it's a win.
Yeah, I just found out that I'm on an elemental planet of blight. So and that I grew up here, and I just don't know the difference because I don't know my life is horrible.
Hey, man,
Except now I do.
will you just level with us for a second? Because you keep saying that you grew up here, but you also continue to be shocked by basic things like the name of the planet.
You think we call it that?
No,
Wait, you think we call it that?
we've experienced some weird stuff in our travels. If you got something unconventional you want to tell us, we're not going to ostracize you, think less of you, not want to party with you. We've made this bond. Just come clean.
Yeah, Tag, tell him something super personal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, oh, gosh. When I was much younger, it was actually my first day at the academy. I had to throw up a little. I was feeling sick. It was nerves. And for some reason, I just thought it would be embarrassing to ask to go to the bathroom. So I threw up a little bit in my mouth. And I swallowed it because I thought, well, nobody will know if I just swallow it. But I don't know if you've ever swallowed your own vomit before. You just throw up again immediately and a lot more vomit. So that was how I introduced myself to the people that would be my schoolmates for the next, like, eight and a half years.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Perf,
Yeah.
do you have something you want to share?
I have a tattoo that says Meathenge.
That's not that embarrassing. Maybe I set the bar by talking about superficial embarrassments. This isn't embarrassing, but it is something that I have a lot of conflicted feelings about. I'm kind of the offspring of pure evil in the galaxy, whose purpose, as vested through me, is to devour all matter, energy, and life. So that's my background.
That is some cosmic stuff. Like, I worry that I'm a bad person if I'm not completely 100% honest with someone.
Well, have you been completely 100% honest with us?
Oh God, no.
I mean, we all kind of figured.
No. I'm just saying, when you meet people, you aren't 100% honest with them right away, because then they'll immediately hate you for all the terrible things that you've just told them.
Perf, we're not going to hate you.
No.
We're telling you right now.
No, what I'm saying is that you never show all your cards to somebody you just met. That's not a normal thing that people do anywhere, right?
It's true. I don't tell people I'm a summoner usually, so I understand
that seems like smart. Like, that way you're not getting worshipped or assassinated every place you go, right?
Yeah, I don't want special treatment.
So you have like a whole planet.
Yeah, she's the princess of it.
And it's
I'm
just
not a
fire?
princess. God. And then
Is
I
everything
smash
hot
something.
there all the time? Because everything is kind of blighty here all the time.
It's pretty
While
warm
you're
here,
having
yeah.
this conversation, you get this very strange feeling. And you look around to see that you are alone in the dining room. And at the far end of the wall, what you originally took to be a large wardrobe or china closet, rattles. And the front falls off of it. A shambling figure emerges from the darkness inside, wrapped head to toe in bandages. It wears the desecrated robes of an ancient blight summoner. The mummy takes a deliberate step towards you, arms outstretched, a muffled cry escaping through the gauze. What do you do as this mummy, your third monster fight, begins to interrupt this conversation? Tag.
I run straight towards it, slide on my knees between its legs, grabbing pieces of bandage from its ankles and yanking.
Cool. Roll plus dex.
9.
Okay. You are able to grab this gauze and pull it free. And when you do, you can see that pieces and parts of the mummy's legs start to open up, and out pours a swarm of scarabs. And they are now starting to pile on the floor, crawling all over themselves, fighting to get towards you. Sam.
Wait, no good thing came out of that? I didn't trip it or something?
You did some harm.
Okay.
I appreciate you thinking that I'm so handsome, but it's just regular old skinny puck these days. You said it was a blighted creature?
It would count as a blighted creature. Most of the monsters on this planet will.
Well, you naughty rat men, I shall cleanse you of your life or lack thereof. And I cast cleanse on the mummy.
All right, roll plus magic.
Bye!
You did cleanse?
Yes, that was what I was trying to roll to do, but that is not what happens.
Okay. Choose a glitch from the list, please.
Oh, I think the magic draws immediate unwelcome attention.
Okay. So you cast what would be a cleansing spell, and it burns away more of this creature's gauze, dealing 1 point of harm. And more scarabs continue to pour out onto the floor. This entire swarm now turns and is heading right for Sam, or Puck, Skinny Puck.
Oh, that's really bad.
Rex.
I think I have this weird tingling sensation in my fingers and a sudden urge to, instead of hit something, which is usually that urge, I want to try and cast a spell to shield Puck from that oncoming onslaught of scarabs.
Sure. Roll plus magic.
Haha! 11.
Excellent. The spell is cast as written. So you reach into this tube of scrolls that you found in the chest and pull one out. It seems like the paper inside does not deplete. And you cast from this scroll Shield, which grants Skinny Puck +1 to his armor versus magic and physical attacks for the duration of combat.
Ooh.
Bryn.
Is my sword still on fire?
I believe it is, yes.
Fuck yes, it is.
It's not like a piece of wood that's on fire. It is obviously a fire enchanted sword. It's like the blade, you know?
Okay. I would like to use area, and all the scarabs are on the ground.
Yes.
Would like to use area attack to hit multiple enemies with my flaming sword.
With the flaming sword and you're doing AoE, you're going to be able to just roll kick some ass, and if you hit, the damage will be doubled.
12.
Okay, yeah. So what is your damage?
Damage is 3.
Okay. You roast these scarabs, so there are very few of them left. The ones that are left are still crawling away from the flames and going towards Puck. You can see that the mummy is wobbling on its bandaged legs, but still active, despite the fact that most of its insides have now poured onto the ground and been disintegrated. It seems as though the scarabs and the mummy are operating independently of one another.
I would also like to eat one of the scarabs.
Oh.
Okay, you do.
I'll just try it.
It's very crunchy, probably even less appetizing than the feast that had been set up for you guys.
Okay.
And nothing happens, but you do get the sense that it's like when you're really thirsty and you just have a small glass of water, you know? It's almost like it just makes you thirstier.
Okay.
You're aware that what you're doing is what you want, but it's just not enough. Perf.
Yeah,
There's a
I
mummy
see
and a badly injured swarm of scarabs.
the mummy has just been eviscerated, correct?
There's still some of it wobbling around, but there's not much.
Okay, I want to take advantage of its being off balance, and I'm gonna cast Uncontrollable Dance on it to see if it will smash the rest of those scarabs for us.
Okay. Roll plus magic.
Alrighty. So that's 6 plus 3 is not randomize the spell.
Okay, randomize. And
That'll
then
be
choose
fun.
a glitch. Actually, choose the glitch before you know the spell, if you wouldn't mind. I feel like that'll give us a little bit more fun.
Problematic side effect.
Okay.
Because
The best.
that seems like the best. And instead, I cast. Wait. So. Invisibility. The target turns invisible.
The mummy's now invisible. And Tag, you can feel strong hands reach down and grab you around the arms, which are still holding the gauze, and begin to squeeze. You're going to roll plus strength. This does not take your turn. This is the mummy's move. You cannot see what's happening.
Bye bye, Miss American Pie.
All right, you are incapacitated by the mummy, so you cannot move, and you cannot. Basically, you have. What would you like to do, knowing that you are you cannot remove your hands and your movement has been negated? Is there anything? Okay, roll, kick some ass.
8.
Okay, you deal 2 damage to the mummy, dusting its gauze. It is looking very bad at this point, but you do take 1 harm physical from its grip on you.
Okay.
Normally, this is where scarabs would pour out of its arms and bite you, but all of the scarabs have been lit on fire.
And does that is not armor piercing harm that is dealt to me? Okay.
Puck. There is an invisible mummy somewhere that you just saw Tag headbutt, and there is just a few scarabs on the ground.
All right. Well, using my deductive powers to see Tag's arms being compressed so fiercely by the grip of a mummy, I will assume that Perf's spell has transformed its visibility to being the opposite of visible, which I believe is unvisible.
That's correct.
And will, instead of relying on aim for my spell, I shall use a magic missile and attack the space in front of Tag.
Sure. How does magic missile work? I wanted to just give it to you like a ranged attack, so you didn't have to burn a spell.
I love
Yeah.
magic missile.
It comes out of my staff. In D&D, it's automatic.
It's an
Here,
automatic hit.
It's
I
3,
feel-
right?
well, it's based off your level. But I feel like, the way Puck is swinging this staff around his head like a baton at a pep rally, it might be more fun to just have me roll, just because that sticks with the mechanics of this game.
Yeah, you just roll plus magic. It doesn't count for a spell slot, and you have unlimited charges of this move.
Oh God!
Good.
A
Oh,
cobra
no!
pops up and looks at me right with its eyes. Right with its snake eyes.
Oh no!
Just do me a favor and roll a d6.
D6.
1d6, no pluses.
2.
Okay, you cast Lightning Bolt instead. It burns one of your charges for Lightning Bolt, but it does explode the mummy right in front of Tag. It turns visible just long enough for you to see that it burns into a pile of dust, which then blows away. And the sarcophagus falls forward onto its own lid and disappears into the same kind of dust. You have defeated the mummy.
So, Mr. Naughty Rat Man, as we should call you, a lot riding on today's fight. You came out of Cairo with a bit of a scandal from some performance-enhancing drugs. This was seen very much as your redemption match. How do you feel it went? Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you. We'll see you next summer in Taipei.
Okay. At that moment, you're all kind of standing around in this place, having just shot a bunch of magic and done a bunch of weird shit in this dining room. And Figmont enters and says, "I will take you to your rooms now."
Figmont, did you see what just happened?
I heard a ruckus, but nothing worse than the sounds we were hearing during dinner.
Right. Well, a mummy.
Could you describe the ruckus?
And there was some soft cloth noises, a rustle, what sounded like an invisibility spell going on.
Yeah, he's got good ears.
Yeah, you have great ears. That's yeah, we just a mummy just came out of your armoire. That's not your boss is going off like this whole, Thoreauian self-sufficiency game. It seems like you guys got shit going on here.
We do. Yes.
Are you personally not alarmed? You're ready to just follow. I'm not asking you to, speak against your boss, but do you not have personal misgivings about your safety? I don't know if you have a family here or certainly friends, people you care about.
He
Where are your scary
brushes
giant wife and child?
He brushes his coat back a little bit, and as he puts his hands on his hip, you're caught again by a glimpse of his parallel armor that he's wearing, and he says, "Do you often go against the wishes of Summoner Cosaint?"
Summoner Cosaint and I have the kind of relationship where she's made me feel comfortable giving voice to my thoughts if they are that we together are not safe. And I would think that you have a responsibility to the safety of Ezra if in fact you believe, as I know you have not only the training but the intuition to believe that something is wrong.
Roll investigate a mystery.
I'm gonna burn a luck unless I can't see the store. Did I have one hanging out in the store? Anybody got eyes on that? I feel like
I know Rex got 2.
I think they said everything was purchased, so everybody had a +1.
I do have one. Okay. I just feel strongly about this. I like that I like this conversation. I like that we're pulling on sort of the parallel code from a humanist perspective. And so I would like, this is only going to bring it up to a mixed success, but I will cash in on that point in order to do so.
Sure. You can ask me 2 questions from the investigative mystery list.
What is being concealed here?
Much like all of the people you've seen in the employment of the summoner, they look sickly like the townsfolk, but it's like they've taken it to another level. His skin is very waxy. His eyes are very sunken, and you are suddenly struck by the fact that he has not blinked, or now that you're looking for it, breathed since you've been talking to him.
Okay. I get hold 1. Hold 1.
With this blight planet, we're doing full success 3, no success, or mixed success 2, and then fail is bad for you.
Okay, so there's a question, where did it go? I'd like to amend that to, or sorry, the question is, what was it going to do? The question is, I guess, like, what is it trying to do? What is it going to do?
Figmont?
No, the plan. So clearly I'm getting the sense through some of the things we've learned so far that there is a life drain happening to presumably nefarious ends. So whoever is, whether it's Ezra or a different power, the question, what is it going to do, is like, what is the goal there? What is the plan? What is the end game?
Sure. Though you'll get this answer in response because there's not much you can get to answer the immensity of the potential plan, but you do get him. He answers the question that you asked, which was, you said that you and Bryn had a relationship in which whenever you felt threatened or unsafe, you could bring it up and discuss it and change things. And he says, I too have a very close relationship with my master. And if I ever thought we were doing something disagreeable, I would be sure to speak up. This way to your rooms. And he leads you out of the dining room.
Do we all hear that conversation?
Yeah, I believe you guys were just having it kind of in a huddle where the table used to be.
Tag, is he his parallel?
Yeah.
Guys, what's parallel?
Oh.
Anyone?
Guys, go ahead.
It seems like a special friend that a summoner has. I don't know. I don't really get it. It seems like they talk to each other in their heads sometimes.
Yeah, that was
all I know.
That was
Like
an incredibly diminutive explanation, but unfortunately not an inaccurate one.
Basically, a summoner gets assigned somebody that they will work with for pretty much the duration of their ruling.
Right.
They get paired with somebody.
Like a buddy. It's like the buddy system, but with a power imbalance.
Yeah. Checks and balances.
That you can't get out of. It seems to be like it's like a permanent thing until somebody dies.
And when you say work, I'm actually not compensated monetarily, so it's not a job necessarily. It's more,
they're not paying
you're
you.
A magical slave, then, is what you're saying.
No, I wouldn't use that term. That has connotations.
No, that has negative connotations to it. But I mean, in essence, though.
I mean, historical connotations that
I'm changing that as soon as I come into power. You will be compensated.
Oh, that's okay. Wait, are you being paid? You're not being paid.
No, but
if you're not paid,
they provide everything that I need.
Well, if I start getting paid, it suddenly feels transactional in a way that I feel like is reductive to the work that we're doing together, which I feel good about, and our friendship.
Can I give you a house?
Yeah, I guess.
You can also give me a house if you felt like it. If we're passing out houses, I live in a swamp, guys. Come on.
Anyway, yeah, that's his parallel.
Okay.
Should like do the advisor bodyguard thing, like a knight and his squire,
Or Squire's a perfect comparison. Or it was his parallel. I mean, we're speaking to Figgy there, but there's something missing from him. I feel like
that guy is dead.
Is he experimenting on his parallel?
I think that whether he's experimenting on his parallel, the whole town is. You remember that feeling when we first arrived on that planet? That feeling of being sucked out?
I thought you were leaking air for a second.
It feels exactly like that, leaking. It feels like we've been leaking since we got on this planet before we put on these necklaces, and I think that he has stabilized, but in a way that is so unnatural.
Yeah.
I do think that, at dinner I was inclined to listen to this summoner's calls for autonomy and agency and individualism and self-governance, but now I think that something's wrong, and I think that there's an urgency that I have not been paying attention to. I know that I'm the naive one of the group, but
No, not at all. And honestly, if we try to reverse what he's doing, that could have really bad complications on this planet. So we might need to fix the problem to begin with. Then it makes his work obsolete. Well, he won't need to do it anymore.
sure, if he is
So if we just
responsible.
go see what's in the basement, everything will be cool then?
Yeah.
Hope so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
how are we
you-
going to sneak out?
You guys are taken first to your sleeping quarters. You will have time to make a decision, but there will be a check that you have to make first. You are escorted to your sleeping quarters. They are located in an upper wing of the mansion, though you are not quite sure where, as you're baffled by the labyrinthian corridors once more. Each of you is put up in a cozy little suite, individually. Everyone is just kind of laying in the darkness, letting the house settle before you're ready to get this. Figmont escorted you here, so I imagine you're just trying to wait till Dad and Mom go to sleep before you sneak out to see your friends. But everybody's going to roll plus magic. And I want to know who gets the lowest roll.
10.
It won't be me, I'm hoping.
Nice.
Oh, no, 13.
10.
And Puck?
I rolled a 9.
Oh, okay, so it'll be tied. Okay.
By a hair.
Well, you
So
got a
everybody's-
lot of them.
Laying in these kind of sparsely
Super
furnished
jelly.
suites, there's a lot of empty space, and so as the torches are extinguished and you're laying in this strange space in the darkness, it's very hard to visualize what the room is like because there doesn't seem to be any walls near you except the one that the bed is pushed against. Tag. You lie in the dark. The image of Blight Manor, the view from the cemetery in particular, and dark thoughts about it swirl through your head. Warmth drains from the room. Before you know it, you're shivering and you can see your own breath. So faintly, you have a hard time convincing yourself you can even hear it. There is music. Spindly, unsteady notes being plunked out by a jewelry box, perhaps, or a child's toy. Then out of the corner of your eye, you catch movement. You whirl around, ready for anything, but there is nothing. A blank wall, ancient peeling wallpaper, and yet perhaps it's the darkness playing tricks on you, but the pattern on the wallpaper appears to shift ever so slightly.
Tag gets out of bed and just slowly, almost as if he's not sure if he's in a dream or if he's awake, walks towards the wall and runs his hand down it.
It feels normal, but slightly cool and damp. The music seems to be coming from behind you, and for just a moment, you look over your shoulder before you realize you can't see anything. And that's when your hand comes across a more jagged surface. And when you turn back to look at the wall, you can see that something has been carved into it. Very small, in between two of the patterns in the wallpaper.
I start to fiddle with it.
Sure. You lean in to see it, and you can see that it reads, "A parallel's oath is forever." And as you are leaning in and squinting, getting closer to it to see it, a face as large as Figmot's presses out from inside the wallpaper, as though stretching it from behind. And hands, their fingers pointy, reach out as well, as though there is a face behind a sheet that is being held taut, and something is fighting its way out of the wallpaper to grab you. What do you do?
I try to grab it back. I grab out and grab it both hands and pull it towards me.
Sure, you're going to roll plus strength.
The obvious choice, of course.
Wow! Hey, nice job, Mark, on these dice, which just rolled a 12.
Nice. So you grab this thing's hands and wrench it from the wall as though it is stuck behind something elastic. It gets to a breaking point before the wallpaper snaps, and a spectral form flies through you, knocking you back into a small table and breaking a lamp. At that moment, everyone else on the floor hears something crash inside Tag's room. Tag, you are now in a room with a spectral figure, very large. It seems to be human, but almost unrecognizably so. The dimensions of the arms and the legs feel off. The head is much larger than normal, and it has retreated to a dark corner of the room, and you are laying in the wreckage of furniture. Sam, would you like to do anything after you hear the noise?
Yes, I'm going to exit my room and head towards, try to locate the source of the sound.
Sure, you can hear a scuffling coming from the room Tag was put up in. When you try the door, it is locked. Rex.
I think I will also respond to the sound of the crash and try and determine its source.
When you get into the hallway, Puck is fiddling with the knob.
Oh my
Do what you
god,
love. Never work a day in your life.
Oh my god.
Would you like
It's
to do
just so pure every time Trin does it. It's such a genuine instinct.
It's the best.
The door is locked. Puck is fiddling with the knob. Would you like to do anything about it?
Yeah, I think startled some of my instincts as, formerly punchy Rex kick in. And so my first instinct is to try and, punch the door open.
Okay. I think you have a move. Maybe it's in your level up. You can use Shield Bash. It is +1 to conquer obstacles by charging through them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be plus strength, +1.
That's a 13.
Okay. Rex puts her shield up in front of her, charges right past you, Puck, and smashes into the door. It flies off of its hinges. Bryn, you hear a small crash followed by a very large one.
I'm gonna run out of my room, but I'm gonna open the connection to Tag. Just be like, Tag, what's going on?
Bryn, you're going to roll plus magic. You are at a -3.
Oh, okay.
Constantly while on Blight, just if you haven't caught on to that yet. Sorry, when you're trying to use old Bryn's abilities.
Old friends. Okay, that's my first fail.
Would you
That's
please
2.
pull a curse out of the hat?
All I'm trying to do is communicate with my friend.
You're doing it poorly.
I know. Okay, chaos magic. Roll 1d6. Elemental effect does 2 harm to everyone, friend and foe in range.
All right. The types of magic should be listed, right?
It's fucking water. Of course it's water.
Okay. So what happens is, as Bryn enters the hallway, Rex has just cleared through the door, and Puck is standing there like, yo, what the fuck just happened? When Bryn opens her mouth to shout to Tag, and water explodes out of it. It hits you full force, Puck, and knocks you back into Tag's room, and you take 2 harm, magical. And Bryn, you are standing there having just created a tidal wave. And the room is starting to slowly fill up as water is continuing to explode out of it.
I'm sorry.
You can barely talk.
Apologize. Keep.
Perf, you've just heard a small crash, a large crash, and now it sounds like there's a fire hydrant floating in the hallway.
Now there's a river outside my door as well.
Water is coming in underneath, yeah.
All right. Well, the first crash makes me sit up. The second crash makes me look for places to hide in the room. But the water coming under the door definitely makes me jump back up on the bed like there's a mouse under it.
Okay. Roll plus magic.
9.
Okay. You catch movement at the side of your eye, but when you turn to see what it is, it's just a blank wall.
I blast it.
All right, which spell would you like to use?
I don't know. I guess disintegrate. It's not going to be what I want it to be anyway. I'm going to say disintegrate.
All right, roll plus magic.
And that's another 9.
Okay, so choose your glitch and
20.
then roll a 20.
I'm starting to get the hang of this. Just name a spell, and I will cast a different spell at random.
What's that magic card anybody play where you see it in Commander a lot, where it essentially says it's like an enchantment. Never mind, this is going to be too long. Sorry. Continue with the actual game we're playing.
What did you cast?
Blizzard.
Okay. So,
But now I have
inside.
to... What was that?
What are you doing?
Do I have to roll it again now to see if it?
No, it'll just be just choose a glitch.
Okay.
Oh boy. Can ghosts swim?
The spell's target is chosen at random.
Okay. You are going to roll 1d6 for me real quick. There are 5 of you and 1 visible ghost.
Visible.
I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ghost will be 6.
Oh, 6.
Ooh, I got a 5.
Okay, perfect. You. Okay,
That's me.
in your room,
That's good.
Blizzard starts.
So I just froze myself. Is what you're telling me.
The wallpaper on the ceiling starts to roil, and it actually turns into what looks like clouds. And then it gets very, very cold. And there is sleet and snow and hail, and it is all blustering through your room, caking on the walls and the floor, creating a very slick surface. You take 2 cold damage, which would just be magic damage, and
Right.
you know that if you stay inside the blizzard, you will continue to take harm. But you can
Having
see
done
like
this to myself probably once or twice before.
you can see on the wall, like a little snow angel, the form of a ghost, which is starting to slow down. Which brings us back to Perf. The specter is circling you. Oh, sorry, Tag. The specter is circling you in the shadows, and you can tell that it is about to make an attack run. What do you do?
I'd like to perform some kind of investigative role. I want to find a source of humanity in it to see if I can find something that does or would have anchored it to this realm.
Okay, I think that's a plus charisma roll. As this thought is coming through your head, Rex bursts through the door and flies into the ground, followed quickly by Puck, who is being blasted by water.
That is a 10. 9. 10.
Okay.
That is a 9. Sorry.
Okay, just ask. You'll get 2 questions from Read About Situation. One of them is the empathy that you want.
Yeah.
I will
Which I
give
think
you...
is... Sorry, go for it.
It does look as though this was an ancestor of Figmot. It is the same size. They seem to have gone through some troubles, which is why their body is a little disfigured. But you would put them as an ancestor of this very large parallel who you've met.
And you're giving me that as one hold, and I have one left, or that's a freebie?
Yeah, that's the one hold.
Okay, then I'm going to ask, what's my best way in? And I mean it in terms of forming a emotional connection or calling this spirit to a sense of earthly connection.
You realize with your current skill set, you have no good options, which means you could try to use one of the moves from your parallel skill sheet, which would be tune in. You will be at a -3, but it could give you what you want.
Okay. Then that seems... can I call this like a starter move and continue to take the next step? Maybe we won't see the effects of it.
Yeah.
I think he's just living... Tag is living in the necklace world, and the longer it goes, the further away he feels from that old Tag. I think that there's been so much building in him in these last several missions, a kind of not overt self-loathing, but as he learns about all that is bundled up with his identity and his family, this opportunity to detach from that and be someone new is exhilarating, and he's running with it. So he's not even thinking about those tune-in powers. So he's just going to see the connection and still kind of lying on the floor on top of the broken fragments of the table say, hey, big ghost. I don't know what's going on in your ghost brain. And if I say Figmont, I don't know if you know intellectually who that is, but I think that you know forgive me, but your blood and your bones, who that is. You have people here on this planet right now, and they're suffering, and we're not here to make that worse. We are here to help them. If you can hear me, I just want to appeal to that last bit of a human that I believe is inside you.
The ghost slows its charge and floats towards you and puts its hands up as though an offering and says, "The name Figmont rings a bell, but the memory is so far away. Perhaps I could look into yours."
Yeah. I know chat's gonna... but this, similar to putting... similar to putting my head in shark gut water, I am going to let this ghost into my brain.
Will you please roll kick some ass plus dex?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm confused why that's the roll. 7.
Okay. Rex, you are getting up from the floor, brushing the debris off of you when you see Tag approach this ghost and make this entreaty. The ghost asks for a glimpse into his memory. When Tag agrees, the ghost floats into his body and disappears. Tag then pulls an arrow out of the quiver on his back, knocks it, and aims it at you, but does not fire. Sam, Puck, you've just been blown into the room by a geyser of water. There's still a bunch of it pouring into the hallway behind you. You see Puck, Tag. There's 70 fucking characters in this fight. You see Tag holding a knocked bow and arrow and pointing it at Rex.
Puck floats into the room on his back, like as the water is pooled, so he kind of like floats in because he's so skinny and light. And he drifts like under where Tag is holding the bow. And he's like, "Hey, what you doing?"
I don't know yet. What are you doing?
The backstroke.
Oh.
Need any help?
Yes.
extreme, and there's a blizzard and a flood, and you have a bow. I'm Puck.
I am dead.
Ooh, that sounds fancy. Did that just happen?
No, I don't remember when I haven't been dead. Are you dead?
Technically, no. Ooh, fun fact though, I'm immortal. But check this out. This'll really spin your noodle. If I die here, I die forever.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
terrified.
very interesting.
Yeah.
And so I tilt the arrow down, the bow down, and release the arrow.
Okay. You are going to deal damage.
I am at a very intentional here penalty using this bow in melee range.
Sure. Roll it. What is the actual penalty? It's just like a negative, right?
Yeah. Okay, that is a 4.
Okay.
Oh my god. Fuck, I'm so sorry. That is a...
All
What
right.
am I thinking? It's our favorite number. Why would I just say it and not do the fadeaway?
What ends up happening is the bow is aimed at you and fired into the ground at the last second, and you see Tag twitch and the ghost's form exit him for just a moment. Would you like to take a move, Sam, while the ghost is visible?
Puck would.
Yes, sorry, Puck.
Well.
Fuck.
So I will, as like imagine the specter kind of like drifting out of the face of Tag, and it's proven that it's not kindly in any way. So I'm going to just lift my staff up right under the ghost's chin and do a sonic disruption blast.
Excellent. Roll plus magic.
That will be 8.
Okay. So choose one glitch.
Okay, the I think it's fair to say I take 1 harm from the chaotic interference.
Okay. You do feel a connection for the first time as a spellcaster to the strange magic that everybody was talking about earlier, and you feel it warp your spell as it comes out, but you strain every ounce of Puck's focus into keeping it, and you can actually see little crystals crack around his eyes as he takes 1 harm, armor defeating, and manages to cast the spell. It blows Tag backwards. He flops onto the bed. The ghost smashes into the wall and disintegrates, and there's an ash outline. And I believe there's a very loud sound that happens when you cast this spell.
Yes.
All of the windows on this floor of the house explode outward. Rex, you just saw this happen, and there is still a ruckus as what sounds like sleet hitting the door from where Perf was. There are no more threats in this room.
Well, but I want to be extra sure there are no more threats in this room. So I think I scoop up a handful of this water that's appeared from nowhere, and I shake it like it's a pair of dice, and bless water.
Roll plus magic?
Throw it on Tag's face.
Okay. If you're just throwing it at Tag, no roll necessary. It does not immediately sizzle his face off.
Okay, I guess you're clear.
What
Bryn?
do you, Rex, think that clerics do?
Get rid of ghosts.
Okay. That's yeah. Okay.
Bryn, the water stops erupting out of your mouth, and you feel lighter. There is the sound of a blizzard, and the water closest to Perf's door is freezing.
Whew, that was weird. Sorry. Are you okay, Tag?
Yeah, I feel strangely disaffected.
What do
Okay.
you mean?
It's just feel blue, just kind of moody.
Moody?
Yeah.
Man.
I want to listen to that Imogen Heap song really bad.
I might have some Tori Amos.
That'll do.
Okay.
The sleet sound behind you grows louder, and you hear Perf say,
Where is he?
He's in a room behind you, and the water that you've recently expelled is freezing around the bottom of the door.
God. Let's go save her.
Yeah.
When you kick in the door,
Definitely
a
kicked in.
sheet of snow falls off into the room, and you see Perf standing on top of the bed, holding his arms, teeth chattering, and behind him, an iced ghost is making its way out of the wallpaper.
Oh God. How are we ever gonna get downstairs?
Too cold.
And it's an ice ghost?
It's just a ghost that has been given almost a physical form because it's being frozen by this blizzard.
Oh,
Oh,
does that
rather
mean
rare,
we can smash
I'm
it?
going to,
It
since
does.
it's ice now, it's inert matter, so I'm going to attempt to sculpt matter on it to change the ghost's shape.
Okay, to what?
To a puddle.
Roll first. Use plus magic real quick to roll to see which spell you cast.
Because of course that's not really what's going to happen. It's just my intention.
I'd like to hear what Perf wants to turn it into. I think that there's value there.
Let me find
Anything
out
but
what I
ghost shaped, I think, would probably be what I was going for.
Okay, we could work with that.
I mean, if I'm in the haunted house, I'm Shaggy, and I just have to accept that. That's a 10 plus 3 is 13.
Okay. Perf points his hands and makes his gestures, and the ghost is transformed from an iced ghost into an iced billiards table. And it crashes loudly to the floor, smashing the bed underneath it and shattering into a bunch of pieces. You've completed the ghost puzzle.
Quietly, too. We've definitely not summoned every malevolent force in this house to come rain terror upon us.
So
Well, worse
strangely
than that,
enough,
I'm pretty sure we woke everybody up. There's a river in the hallway.
Oh,
strangely enough, the blizzard dies out, and then there does not seem to be any other ruckus in the house. No one is coming to investigate what just happened. You don't hear anything. No lights are lit with torches. Nothing. You're alone.
Make our way downstairs.
Okay.
Want to go check out that bookcase?
What bookcase?
So that was just a little nook. It would not have led to the basement, but correct me if I'm wrong here. Even though the hallways are a bit labyrinthian, interested in finding the basement quickly, Perf leads the way, and you guys don't really get lost on your way down to the basement. It's as though he knows the way. You go down a very long stairway after a series of tangled corridors. This is in the back of what you would think the mansion is. There's a small window that looks into a place out on the swamp that you did not see on your way up, what would be at the crest of this hill. This is a very cramped little staircase. You would imagine that the servants use it on their way up and down. It is muggy and low-ceilinged. You make your way slowly down into the darkness, and you have the feeling that you are traveling deep underground, not just into the basement. You go for a long time before you see a flicker of light up ahead. At the bottom of this staircase, a low archway leads into a vast underground cathedral. Impossibly large. The ceiling impossible to make out in the dark, the chamber stretching far past the ring of light made by an array of candles. Summoner Capio stands atop a dais. Behind him is an altar dripping in what you can only assume is blood.
Blood?
Well done, Perf, he says. Our bargain is complete. You may go now.
No, you got to do the thing.
If you come by the house tomorrow for tea and bring your undead friend, I'd be happy to return his life to him.
What?
What?
Hold on. Summoner.
Yes?
Which one?
Other summoner.
Which one?
The one I just betrayed.
Oh, what?
Can he do that?
Can he what?
Can he do that? Can he bring an undead back to life? Is that a thing? You're a summoner.
Do I understand that you want us to verify the plan you made with this other summoner for which you betrayed us?
Yeah?
Your sense of ethics, but more importantly, timing, are so wildly off base right now.
Okay, the timing, I think, is more important in this particular case. Tag, if you don't mind my saying so.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm making that important decision whether to continue betraying you or fight by your side, because clearly this guy's out to kill you.
Have you ever seen the movie Pet Sematary?
No! I don't know what a movie is!
Bryn,
No.
interestingly
I bet
enough,
it takes one of those electricities, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Let me put it this way. You can't bring somebody back to who they were. They come back as something else, and you can't control what it is.
you, Bryn, have been brought back.
Well, but I was only dead for a couple seconds. How do you know that?
Are you trying to argue the 5-second rule of death?
Pretty much.
Wait, there's a 5-second rule with death? Because this guy has been dead for months.
Have you seen The Princess Bride? No?
Is it a movie? Because
Yeah.
the answer will still be no.
You can be mostly dead and come back, but if you are dead,
Oh no, this guy is a zombie? He's not even dead anymore. He's something
Oh.
completely different.
I don't
And
think
says
so.
he can turn him back. But I have to lead a group of people down here into his trap, which this is. This is the trap right here, in case you are wondering. And I fulfilled my end of the bargain at that point. I've done that. He owes me a living person.
Jesse,
But if you can't,
make a
can't go
lore.
through with it, I don't see, now that you're here in the trap, why I shouldn't help you out of it.
Yeah, you want to investigate a mystery, Puck?
To do a lore check to see if there's magic that I know of that's possible to achieve such an effect from this planet.
Sure.
11.
With a full success, I think you would know the answer to this. It's always context sensitive, but what happened to Bryn was possible because of her connection to Tag and his ability to anchor her to this place. You have heard of types of magic that give people life. There is always a cost. Bryn is correct in saying that they do not always come back the same, and if the ritual, which is incredibly complicated and incredibly expensive as far as magic is concerned, is botched, the consequences could be catastrophic.
All right. I go over to Perf and I go, hey, don't mean to interrupt your betrayal. I hope it goes well.
It's already done.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
I guess. I'm
Yeah.
feeling really bad about this.
Oh, don't feel bad yet. I just wanted to let you know that there is some chance that even if this evil summoner does help you, there's some chance it may not go correctly as Bryn said. It could result in your death. It could result in your friend coming back and being evil. Or
He's already evil.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's a bit of a stereotype, but
Come to think of it, like when he was alive, he wasn't very nice.
Yeah. Well, I support you either way, regardless of character assassination. Just wanted to let you know that there is a high risk factor. It's not even maybe 50-50. So, you know.
Great. And I imagine the cost is something like another life, so somebody else would have to die for him to come back to life. Is that the case? Because
Oh, oh, it's so funny that you'd mention that, Perf. Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to cash in your soul to give it to your buddy. I figured you were close enough you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, there you go.
he's the guy that named me Perf. I don't like this. Oh God, guys. Look, I know we've only been hanging out for a few hours, and I realize that I've just betrayed you to a summoner on a planet called Blight, which is really just awful for me to do in hindsight, and I'm really sorry.
I don't believe it, but go on.
Oh. Okay. Well, I guess to the other three of you that aren't also a summoner, if there's anything I can do to make this better, I would love to help, because I feel like I've been used here. And you guys
You've been used.
Yeah, why did you ask these questions before? Again, I'm not upset at the moral judgment you made, but the sheer stupidity with which you made it.
To be fair,
he did specifically say that you couldn't trust him and that he wasn't telling the truth. Just to be fair, he did say that. I just took it that, you know.
I did say that.
He did. He absolutely said that, which made me trust him all the more, because he told us the truth that he was ultimately going to betray us.
Yeah, I dropped a lot of hints along the way for you clever ones, and I was hoping that you would catch on, because, you know, I still have to lead you into the trap, which, you know, we're in. All of us. I feel like I'm going to get killed here anyway, like, no matter what happens at this point.
Capio starts to laugh, and he says, all right, that's enough. Anyways, I was going to betray Perf, so I'll make it easy on everybody. Let me prove to you how I have defeated death with a little spell that I've been working on with some of my friends upstairs. And he raises his staff into the air, and he says, raise the dead! And smashes it into the ground.
Counterspell.
Fuck, roll it.
Dispel magic.
Slow motion as the staff is heading down towards the ground.
Dispel!
You're casting as well?
I'm casting Dispel.
Okay.
All right. That is a 13.
Okay.
Nice.
That's my Spriggan right there.
When his staff hits the ground, there is a huge blast that ripples through this, and you can see that in the corners of this room there are many different piles of bones, and they all smash into the ground, and the black gem at the top of the summoner's staff explodes.
Oh, that's nice.
And he looks around, kind of dazed, and says, well, fuck, that's never happened before. And we move to initiative. Rex.
Are we rolling for initiative?
No, it's just going to be in the loop-to-loop, starting in the order that I've been going in with Rex after Puck.
I'll say my blood's up. I'm going to try and charge the summoner.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll kick some ass, plus strength. Yes. I will be now playing tag.
That is a 10.
Since we're in combat, which we haven't been in before, do you need to send me a move list or anything, or am I just going buck wild?
There you go. Normally you'd never be allowed to see these things.
Oh, all right, hang on. Let's just get our ducks in order.
Wait, can we have a little celebratory moment that we're doing a GM swap?
You mean with our favorite patented dance?
Yeah.
I got dance.
My dancing was too vigorous.
You want it on your phone, Coco?
No, I'll figure it out. I'll
be loose with it. Just be loose with it.
Sure.
You were gonna play Fast and Wild with it anyway. We all know it.
So, okay, tell me what just happened, Rex. You're charging the summoner.
Yeah.
All right, well,
And
since
I
you
got a
didn't
10.
specify, you charge right at Bryn, full force. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cheap shot. That's a cheap shot. I wouldn't do it to you. Okay, so with a 10, you come right at Ezra, and he had expected there to be a wall of undead minions there to protect him, and suddenly he finds himself completely alone and kind of just like turns a little bit like if you're playing tennis really poorly, you just don't want to get hit by the ball. It's a very ineffective technique, and you hit him and drive him straight to the ground. Is there a damage on your
I'm using my shield, so that's a 2.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Let me just, because we are in combat mode, I want to be fair. Oh. Okay, cool.
And I yelled divine shield while I do it, obviously.
And he says, Right, well, you know that I just ate away a couple hours ago, and I'm not sure I'm here. And as you smash into him, he just burps up a couple fish roe that trickle down the side of his mouth.
Oh.
We're gonna go next to our summoner.
You're on mute. Bryn!
You're muted.
Bryn!
You're still muted.
Sorry, I'm gonna go beast mode.
Beast mode.
Please tell us what that means.
I am going to use. It gives me a +1 to muscle my way through a problem, and my problem is that I want to incapacitate Summoner Ezra, but I don't necessarily want to kill him. So I'm going to run over and put him in a headlock.
Great. Tell us about it.
I don't have to roll. I can just do it.
Oh, yeah. You can just do it. I like the headlock. I'm in charge here. You just fucking do it.
Yes.
You're not. I would say because you are a warrior. Let's phrase it not only in terms of what I would enjoy seeing, but because you are a warrior and you're not doing anything particularly deft with your sword. I think a headlock is well within your. No need to roll purview.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna run over there, and I'm gonna grab his chest here, and I'm gonna put my arm around his neck, realizing that he's actually kind of frail. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to kill him. So I just put him in a tight headlock, and I'm like, look, I tried to talk to you. I told you that we could be friends, that you don't have to do experiments, that we can help your planet out. You need to knock this shit off, okay? Just knock it off.
He's down. Right. Well, what you have to understand is that it's just hard for me. My whole life we've been bullied. We've been told we're not good enough on the blind planet, which is somewhere in the sort of greater British Isles. Not exactly Scotland, not exactly Ireland, definitely not Wales, but just sort of ambiguously in that area. And I suppose what I've longed for this whole time is companionship. So if you'll accept it, I suppose I'll say, fuck you and fuck your mother!
He reaches behind. He's in the headlock. He reaches behind with his staff and just presses it right at the nape of Bryn's spine. He is taking a little bit of damage for this headlock move because he is so frail. But he's going to tap it there, and there's just this crackle of kind of very, very dark blue energy. And Bryn, you can feel it, and it breaks your grip suddenly as your chest expands, and you can feel, my goodness, Jesse, you monster. 3 magical harm is dealt to you as he gains 3 life.
Does my armor help for any of that?
No. Magical. Does your armor block magic?
No. So
Oh,
3 harm.
That's
Awesome.
reach. Okay. I believe I'm just going horizontally over here, so I believe that'll take us to Puck.
Well, I'm all out of spells, so I have to put a missile on this guy because I can't smish him. So, pew pew, says I.
Roll for it.
That's
Oh
fine.
no.
No, it's thematic because it's my 5th fail, and that's what I roll.
Wonderful. So, Puck, you take your staff, you, in that wild flail, ring it around your head, and in near perfect form, cast the magic missile, and it feels as if it's leaving your body exquisite. It just, you've hit the nail on the head, and you start to feel this roiling, eruptive magical energy come out of the end of your staff, and then there's a sound almost like someone turned the TV off of static unexpectedly, and from his position holding his staff to Bryn's back, Ezra Capio kind of shudders a little bit, looks up. You can see his eyes just for a second turn black and then fade back into himself, and he feels refreshed as if you just gave him something special that Jesse knows about and no one else does.
Fashion?
Fashion?
What? I mean, like old fashioned.
That will lead us. But I'm sorry, guys. I'm the numbers. There is still, as he shudders and as that renewed life, there's something almost like an addict about it, because you can see that while your magic missile did go off and it did deal damage, that is not the only thing it did to him. It also imbued him with a sense of vigor, and that will take us to Tag.
Tag says, "Sir, I do not know from what vile, wretched, rotten swamp you have crawled out of, but no one puts their hands on someone who does not want to have hands put on them."
And he knocks an arrow and fires it at Ezra.
Roll it.
I don't have any dice next to me.
If you'll accept it, I will roll on your behalf.
Please do.
Okay. Wow, I'm gonna get so accent confused right now.
Welcome to my life, man.
Tell me about it. He releases the arrow as it comes straight towards. Yeah, as it comes straight towards the summoner, it hits him squarely in the chest. The arrow sticking out. He takes the 2 harm from that, and there's a moment where you feel the satisfaction of a solid hit, and then he sort of inhales deeply, and the arrow pulls itself closer in. He inhales deeply, and the arrow pulls itself closer in. He bows his head, shudders a little bit, and as he throws back his head, his eyes are black, and the arrow has been pulled entirely into his body, almost as if by magic.
That's probably
very similar.
That's probably magic.
Very
I'm
similar
gonna say
to what
definitely
happened.
magic.
That's probably.
He looks at you. Right, well, I suppose you caught me red-handed. Was a bit of magic there.
Okay, great.
I'll tell you what planet I came from, or what you asked me, what swamp I came from. I came from this one, which more and more seems similar to Scotland, but I'll tell you what, it's actually the planet called Blight. You should learn it.
And he looks at Perf and he says, and you should learn it too.
Perf, I'm swapping us back.
Great.
Perf, your move.
All right. Yeah, it's about time for this to be done, and I want to live. I want to live.
You deserve it.
That's not coming from me, though, which I now officially talk like this.
I am going to use men to sew his clothes together so everybody else can beat him senseless.
Okay.
Don't worry, this spell, like, works 100% of the time. 10% of the time. That's another 9, so I get to roll on the fancy die and figure out what the hell happens. That looks delightful. It's at least a double-digit number. Summon Murder Elemental.
Will you just tell me what a
murder elemental appears?
Will you tell me what a murder elemental looks like? Because I've always wondered.
So have I. All I ever do is picture the little like shadow creatures from the little animated thing they did for that whole scene.
Okay, yeah. So
they're like little like scary horned shadow creatures.
Sure. Perf
with knives, of course, because kitchen
Perf
knife.
Flings his hands forward, and this whirl of shadows and men and these. It's almost like these forms are fighting themselves out of him, trying to beat their way to the summoner. The summoner says,
"Oh, dark magic! I was born of this."
And he tosses whoever he was holding. Oh, Bryn. He rips her hand off and tosses her aside, and gets hit full blast with this myrtle elemental swarm. It lifts him up off of the dais and tosses him back through the air. And then, and they're just ravaging him in the air as they go backwards. And he flies off the dais. And when you think he should be hitting the floor, there is no sound. And you are now
fine.
Alone in the underground cathedral. You've just seen the summoner disappear into the shadows on the other side of the dais. What do you do?
Did he keep getting stronger the more we hit him?
Yeah, it looks like magic makes him feel better. That probably didn't hurt as bad as it should have.
But he's gone now?
You didn't hit the ground on the other side.
He's hiding. He's right around here somewhere.
He is? Maybe I can hear his heartbeat.
You cross the dais, trying to suss out where he might have landed. And when you get to the other side of it, you can see that in the ground, there is a pit, bottomless for all that you can see. In a ring around this very large pit's edge, scrawled in what looks like blood, there is a message. It reads, 10 tests await those who might cheat death. Enter if you dare. Before you have time to process that, just a moment. A blood-curdling howl echoes through the house, striking fear into all of your hearts, making Perf want to
GTFO.
The yellow wizard.
I use my run like hell ability.
Yes, you see Perf tear away and try to get back to the stairwell when you see a hunched figure emerge from the darkness. What remains of a servant's uniform hangs off its massive, hairy limbs. The beast's eyes glow red. Saliva drips from its snout. Its lips curl to reveal sharp canine teeth. And the wolf person bounds towards you. Blackout. We don't get fight time, but you will be fighting a wolf person at the beginning of the next session.
Yes. I mean, no.
We're Christian Doyle. We have some unfinished business here, sir.
What?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? There was a betrayal that has gone unaddressed, and I intend to address it.
What do you mean you want to address
You're
the
coming
betrayal?
back on this damn show for another episode at some point, so we can get to the bottom of this.
Hey man, anytime you want me around. I mean, I don't know if I could always play Perf like that, but yeah, anytime you want. I'm always happy to be around. I love you guys. I haven't seen you forever.
It has been a
It was
long
nice.
time. It was really nice to see you, Christian.
I was like,
Yeah.
one of the big highlights of next month is I get to play with Lisa once.
Damn.
I know. So, bro.
As a different magical space princess.
And we're siblings.
Oh right, and we are siblings on that show.
Oh man. Okay, so we have a question from chat. So prepare yourself. If I remember correctly, it is, what is your favorite Halloween time movie?
Ooh.
Start with Trin.
That's tough, I will say, because I was raised in a pretty Christian household, so we didn't really watch Halloween movies. So I don't know that even as an adult I have a favorite Halloween movie.
What?
Come back, I'll think about it. Come back to me.
Okay, Jesse?
I think it's like Leprechaun 1, maybe? Whatever one where he like drives a motorcycle through a house.
That sounds like one.
Yeah.
Spy Who Shagged Me.
Old school. How about you, Christian?
Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Since I was about 10 when that movie came out. But yeah, always a Monster Squad fan. I think that movie is the reason I started smoking young, though, so maybe not.
Classic. How about you, Connor?
Well, funny that you should say Pet Sematary. I vividly remember watching Pet Sematary 2 on TV on the USA channel, commercials, and at an age where I didn't know that you could plan to watch stuff on TV. I thought you just scrolled through the channels and you found something. So I started at least half an hour or more into this movie, and it just haunted me for years and years and years. I thought it was so scary, only to be replaced when I saw the movie Inner Space with Martin Short. And
Oh yeah, Dennis Quaid.
it's a comedy, but at the age I was just like, this is like, I thought it was like Cronenberg level body horror. I was like, they're inside a human body. This is terrifying.
Well, some of that face stuff that they did was like really scary.
I saw it once when I could count my age on my hands. Have not returned to it. I've tried to banish the memories from my head. So I'll say that.
Jeez. How about you, Casey?
So I'm big into horror and thrillers, but I don't really associate them with Halloween.
Me either.
So I actually, strangely, am I don't think it's like Halloween is a scary time. It's like a very fun time. So I'm the hugest fan of the Addams Family.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a narrative, not a narrative snob, but I like really care about narrative. And that movie so bypasses my own like Aristotelian predilection. It's just straight up like, here's a very simple plot, and it's just great bit after great bit after great bit after great character acting, and it's just so incredibly lovely. It's hard for me to not go a season without popping on a little Angelica Houston and Raul Julia just being so in love. I think it's just fantastic. Plus that Hamlet scene or the Shakespeare scene is just exquisite.
That's a good one.
Lisa?
Oh god, this like movie I've seen since I was a kid. Nobody ever knows it. It's called The Worst Witch. It's got Tim Curry in it and Fairuza Balk and the lady that played Lady Tyrell in Game of Thrones, and she just passed away. Oh, I can't think of her name. But it's such a good, like, I think a lot of Harry Potter was pulled from these books. And it was just like an 80s movie that was so great that I watch it with my brother on VHS every October.
That's not the one where the kids have the harmonica and the harmonica has magical powers?
Let's Escape to Witch Mountain.
Yeah, no, this one's like an all-girls witch school, and there's a girl that doesn't fit in, and it's great. We just watched it with people that had never seen it, and I was like, maybe this is just a thing you like if you saw it in the 80s. You grew up with it, so I don't know.
Chad is blowing up with great movies that every single one of them, I want to be like, yeah, that one, and that one, and that one.
Oh, I know. There's so many good ones. I mean, Garfield Halloween also is like a hardcore second for me.
I don't know it.
Grew up with that one.
I did recently watch Ernest Scared Stupid, and last week. It holds up in some ways that I wasn't expecting, and does not hold up in some ways which I was expecting.
It's no Ernest Saves Christmas.
It's no Ernest Saves Christmas, which is in turn
Ernest Goes to Jail.
No, or also, Ernest Goes to Camp.
Or Ernest Goes to Camp. There you go. That's the one.
How many of those movies were there?
There's a lot.
Where's the one where he's on the farm?
Ernest Goes to the Farm.
That's a great guess.
Yeah.
The movie was called Funny Farm. It wasn't an Ernest movie. Right?
Oh, was it Funny Farm, Chevy?
Or something like that.
So many. Trent, did you think of one?
Trent and I had a great time watching Hereditary.
Oh,
you almost died, so I don't know about that being a great time. I literally thought you were having a heart attack.
I did too. I truly did.
That one is definitely freaky. Did you guys like Midsommar?
I did.
I haven't seen it.
I did. I found it incredibly disturbing, but I did actually like it a lot.
It is. That's a wild ride. If Hereditary got your angst up, Midsommar will do the same for sure.
So I want to not spoil, and I know this is a fringe opinion, but I think that Midsommar is quite a romp. I think it's like a sort of not coming of age, but like finding yourself. I think it really. I think that movie has a very happy ending, personally, but I know that there are people in this chat. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I like scary movies. I just don't associate them with Halloween.
Gotcha.
Which is maybe weird, but yeah.
So chat really needs you guys to show off your costumes and explain them.
I'm Half Dad, an evil emperor of the evil dimension. As requested by Rob, I believe, in chat.
And an absent father.
Tomato, buddy.
Wait.
Got my armor here, my crown. I tried to do some purple on the bottom, but I got a little carried away with the face paint.
Oh, mine's all like falling apart at this point. Ugh! There we go. I just am playing myself. I'm playing Bryn. Summoner robes, which are kind of falling apart. But yes.
I'm extremely cheating, and I'm playing the untired version of myself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trent is also working 7 days a week, probably like 26 hours a day, to keep our democracy from crumbling into ash. So she gets 1,000 free passes forever.
Casey?
But it's no Rainbow Bright costume.
Yeah, I'm rocking the old school Rainbow Bright.
Yeah.
It's got the full skirto here with
Super
the
jelly.
great rainbow waistband and the power gauntlets, as well as
Wear
the
it very well, Casey.
sparkly hairband. And little brief story about it at the costume store where I got it. There was only one, and it was an extra large. It was not designed to be worn by necessarily designed to be worn by a dude. So I've squeezed myself into this oversized Rainbow Bright skirt, and I'm not gonna lie, if I could wear this rainbow like power sash every day, I probably would. It's just pretty sweet.
You look great, Casey.
For sure.
Thanks.
Absolutely. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a blast. Thank you to Mark Thomason for running our tech and being the voice of the robot tonight.
Yeah,
and
Mark.
informing us. Yay!
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you to Merc for being our fantastic mod and keeping things going in chat. Super appreciate it. She's got fanfic in our Discord. Check it out. It's amazing.
Oh, it's
great.
so phenomenal. Sorry to interrupt, Lisa. It
is.
So let me second that. I got a little taste of one today.
So good. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to everybody that donated. A portion of that's going to go to Pavlov. So excited about that. And thank you to our special guest, Christian Doyle.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Hey, quick plug if you guys are still watching things tomorrow. PEG is doing its first online convention this weekend. It's called Halloween. And we are premiering our new show, Golden Guns, based in the Rifts universe using Savage Worlds rules tomorrow. It's basically, Sons of Anarchy with magic and lasers and dragons and robots.
Very clearly up our alley.
Yeah, it should be fun.
That's amazing. Oh,
So
man, check it out.
That'll be on tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Here on Zombie Orpheus or somewhere else?
I believe we're going to be hosting it, yeah.
Oh, perfect. So people can check it out here.
It seems like we may have some new folks who jumped on to watch tonight. If you enjoyed it, we've got a Discord where we try to maintain a pretty active community. Share stuff about the show. Maybe that can magically appear in the chat somehow.
Look
I
at
think there's an iDiscord. There should be an iDiscord.
But if that's the case, we're so thrilled to have you. And of course, if you've been watching the show for a long time, and again tonight, we were all, before this thing started, talking about how excited we were to do a special Halloween episode for you guys. We really so deeply appreciate your earballs and your eyeballs.
Yep. Oh, and Aaron Buman, because he created all these amazing new songs for us. So he created our dance song, a bunch of ambient music that's in the background, and of course our incredible opening. So big shout out to him too. And Zombie Orpheus for hosting us. Thank you so much and supporting us. I think that's all my brain can think of to say.
Thank everyone.
We love you. Thanks, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Thanks for spending your Wednesday night with us. Christian, you're the greatest. Thanks for playing.
Thanks,
man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Let's take them home.
Halloween!